What's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's number one urban sports talk show, and uh and sports number one urban sports talk show in the country. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, and your midday sports happy hour, and Jim Hicks. Jimmy, it is a great, great day. It's unbelievable. Rick Wilmore, your new nephew, is went number one overall. I got you. I got you. I got you. Let's go. Let's go. But Jimmy, it's a great day. We got a special guest coming up very, very, very short in 3 minutes. So Jimmy, I'll let you bring him in and get ready to bring him in and set the day. And then when the coach go off, we'll get back to our normal show. But what's going on, Jimmy? What you got?
We get back. What's going on? Hey, Chop. Hey, it's Baby Friday. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I got you.
Baby Friday.
Okay.
It's on the Chop Shop, and that's what we call it Thursdays. This is the last. Of course, we broadcast Monday through Thursday, 12 to 2 on the Chop Shop. It's going to be a great show today. We got a lot of stuff to run through. Of course, I know you guys are itching to recap and share your thoughts on the NBA draft. Yes, we will open the phone lines this afternoon, later on in the show. But first, of course, we have a guest, and the guest is going to be piping up shortly.
He's here, Jimmy.
Cranking his motor up.
Yeah, he ready. He ready.
And we're gonna just toss him right to you.
Okay.
This week we're shifting. We call him an audible at the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
It's football season, but we got a basketball coach coming up. Basketball coach.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We at the line. I know we getting ready to hike the ball, and all of a sudden, I look around and I see, after the NBA draft, after all these rules and NCAA basketball changing up, they giving players an extra year. The coaches recruiting from home.
Yeah.
They spending time with their kids, grandkids.
Yes.
I mean, all coaches learning how to cook and stuff right now at home. They ain't doing microwave no more. I'm telling you, it's a whole different world out there for a lot of these college coaches than what they have ever been accustomed to. And guess what? It's some wise, happy as hell. You know what I'm thinking, Hatter?
Yeah.
It's going to probably be more coaches' babies born in 2021 than in modern day history. I'm going to say it again.
What you say?
It's probably going to be more babies born in the year 2021 as a result of these college coaches.
Not just the college coaches, it's us being at home on pandemic too. Hey, the college coaches ain't the only one know how to get it on now, but keep going.
hey, but guess what? Them college coaches realize they've been missing on that road. They coming back home. I'm telling you, I checked old orders of Teddy Pendergrass albums and Luther Vandross albums have been up during the pandemic.
Wow.
People buying Luther Vandross albums right now during the pandemic. Hey. You know what? Shirley Murdoch.
Hey, hold on.
As we lay, sold a record number of copies. I'm just joking with you guys, but I'm guessing.
Luther Vandross to get it done. That's all I'm gonna say. I got 2 off for Luther Vandross. That's all I can say.
You got 2 off of Luther?
Luther. Yes, sir.
Big Luther, little Luther.
I don't care what he was. But, man, let's bring a guest in, man.
So what we going to do today, guys, one of our theme on this Baby Friday, if we had to make a Chop Shop Slow Jams mixtape, our top, we're going to call it a dozen. We're looking for a dozen slow jams to go on this mixtape from the Chop Shop. And as we go through the show today, everybody gonna nominate their songs, and toward the end, we're gonna see which ones make the cut. And we're gonna write, and I got my pen ready. We're gonna start writing them down, Haller, as they come through. And so I'm gonna go ahead on and anoint As We Lay, Shirley Murdoch, and I'm gonna anoint that.
I never liked that old ass. My mama used to listen to that song. I didn't like that song.
You know why? Because it was about 12 minutes long. And you knew at that age, about 15, 16, about 21 years old, you be grown. About 21, you knew you could get done what you need to get done in 11, 12 minutes.
Okay, all right. Well, let's bring Coach on.
So now we go. Now make sure, guys, name the artist and the song. just name. We ain't talking about this like we did Luther a while ago. Luther made a specific song that Halle gonna give with Luther. And before we go to the guest, Halle, go on, give your song, Anoint Yours right now.
Hear it now. Hear it right now.
That's a wedding song, Negro.
Huh? What? What you say?
You had a baby on a wedding song? Here and now?
I was married. Duh. I thought
you would have said it's like superstar. Superstar.
When you're married, hold on. When married folks do what married folks do. Come on, Jimmy, you messed up the whole thing.
I see why you got divorced. See, that's you started out with the wrong song. That's what the hell happened right there. You can't start out the tape. That's why our chop mixtape got to be great. Hey, with further ado, guys, we got what you guys. We got today coming on with us. We have got it. I've been knowing for years in the business since I started covering the basketball scene back in 2001. Met him early on. He was always cordial to me, man. Always come up to me. Always conversated with me. And as he grew, I grew as far as knowledge, and it's great to see him now. He's came full circle for the second time back at DePaul University. Coach Dave Latow is with us right now. What's going on, boss?
Hey, fellas, can I just, before we say hello or anything, can I give you my song?
Yes, sir.
What you got?
Lenny Williams, Cause I Love You.
Oh! I like that,
Lenny
Coach.
Williams.
I like that. Put Lenny on there. You got to put Lenny.
Let me write it down. Coach, hey, Al, he shook his head like he got one off the Lenny. He got one off the Lenny. Coach, Al, you see him shaking his head?
Don't tell nobody.
Hey, Coach. Derek Johnson just put one on. Peebo Bryson. I'm so into you. You got to put that one on there, Jim. Jimmy, you notice I said I had two kids. Notice I said I had two.
Hold on.
That might be the other.
Hold on.
What?
So this is something serious now.
Okay.
The Peebo version or the Teddy and Stephanie Mills version?
Oh, Peebo. Both of them.
No. When Stephanie Mills said, but Teddy, you dominoed every man in the world. You big sick. Right then, you reneged. Done.
Yeah, but Peebo, man, you see, Jimmy, Let's talk to Coach, man. Coach ain't got much time. Coach got to go. Coach got work to do, man. Yeah.
Coach, what's going on, man? How's everything going up there? I mean, crazy.
We're doing good. We're managing. You know, there's not a person on God's green earth right now that's got life in its normal stage. So we're like everybody else. You know, every day is a new challenge. But we're trying to meet it. You know, God's grace is good, and what doesn't break it makes you stronger. So we're just going with that mindset to bloom where we're planted and keep moving forward. So I appreciate you having me on. I think, I appreciate what you said about me, and I think we're equally yoked in our friendship, Jimmy, in that this is a space that we could talk free and honest, and I can let my hair down because you let your hair down, and it's not politically correct. It's the truth. So I appreciate you having me on.
Wow.
That is indeed the chop shop. And
before Coach go any further, Coach, I know you got your warm-up suit on today, but Coach, I'm used to seeing you in one of them Briones. And Coach, hey, y'all, let me tell y'all some fans out here. Y'all go Google Coach. Coach has got to be, in the top 3-4 coaches on the sideline the way he dressed. See, he messed around and let my little young protege get in there, Penny Hardaway, and Penny Hardaway then kind of move right close to you, Coach. But Coach, I love your flair, and I know it's intentional. I know you're gonna sit up but it's the chop shop, Coach. When lights, cameras, action on, Coach, you sharp. You sharper than Dick was when Hattie died. That's what my mama used to say.
I appreciate that. Credit goes to my mother. I grew up in a household with 4 sisters and a mom. So looking good and appearance was monumental. So that's where I got it from. And even last night, Penny had the green suit on with the blue. And so, real recognizes real on that one.
I
like that. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell him.
Hey, speaking of, and it's a true story. You brought it up, had a true story. It's a few years back. I went up to Coach. I said, Coach, you got to turn me on to the tailors. I said, Coach, Coach had the britches on with the thick belt loops. Back in the days, the thick belt loose, the breeches up. I say, Coach. Back then I had the flat belly, and so I can rock that. Coach, and Coach know what he did. Want you with a tailor if they think you're gonna cross paths because they know how tailors are. They make something good for you, Allen, and he gonna sell it to me too. I'm like, yeah, man, you need this. It's gonna look good on you. And so coach ain't gonna be wearing the same thing.
Coach, I got to disagree with you. Cause CJ Custom Clothers. I don't know, Coach, if you ever met CJ. If he make Coach Lee a late over suit, he's definitely, that material will never go to another client. That's what I love about that guy. If like the suits, Jimmy, he made you ain't gonna never see nobody in that particular fabric because he scours the world for different fabrics. And that's a unique thing, Jim. I'm just some tailors, some guys are like that. Yeah, they don't play that now. They don't play that. But keep going, Coach. Coach, you're probably familiar with that.
Now, Coach, we always do starting fives. And this is going to give you a question that you ain't probably never been hit with. I'm going to give you a few of them today you ain't probably never been hit with. One is, who would be your starting five, right, of coaches around, college coaches around the country, best dressed? I'm writing them down. You're starting five.
Yeah. You know what? Obviously in this league, he gets a lot of publicity. So Jay Wright.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm gonna put him on. I'm gonna sneak one in on you, Damon Stoudemire.
Oh yes, sir.
Damon Stoudemire gotta go into that place. Boy, that's a good question. Let me come up. So because you said that about me, can I be third, or can I?
Yeah. You in there, Coach? You in there?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of self promotion here on that.
Okay.
That'll go a long way.
Okay.
And you know what? Quietly down your neck of the woods, Coach William down there at Texas A&M.
Buzz, yeah.
You know what? Buzz
be sharp. Yeah, you're right.
He didn't really step his game up.
Coach, I'm about to get mad at you, Coach. I just gave you a name. I just gave you an alley-oop a minute ago, Coach. I'm about to be mad as a Memphis graduate. I'm about to be a little upset, but keep on going. You got one more.
Why can't I say the best for last?
Look, that's a bad man right there.
His advantage is he got a lot of coin in his bank.
Yeah,
so he can do it the way he needs to do it.
Coach.
And he still look like he's in game shape, so it looked good on him too.
Coach, I have the advantage of being able to see his closet. Coach, it's the size of somebody's 2 or 3 bedroom apartment, Coach. His closet. I'm serious, Coach. It's just unbelievable. You're right. He is blessed to be able to do it like that. But it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
They ain't call him Lil Penny for nothing.
Yeah.
So I have a name that I'm going to throw out there that you might consider cutting somebody. I know you cut plenty of players before in your life. and I'm gonna tell you, you ready for this name?
Go ahead.
As far as one of the starting five of the best dressed coaches in college basketball, Dave Dickerson.
Oh, Dave taught me a thing or two about fashion. Absolutely.
I never seen Dave.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
No, Dave be threaded up.
I've never seen.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
What school? What school he's at, Coach? What school he's?
I'm coming off the bench right now.
Oh no, Coach! You got to send Buzz off the bench, Coach. Coach, you sharper than Buzz. I like you, Buzz, but no. Say no more.
Dave be threaded up.
Jimmy, what school is Dave with us, Jimmy? What school?
He went from Ohio State to
okay.
Where's he at now?
The head coach of South Carolina Upstate.
Okay.
Upstate.
I gotta check him out. I gotta check him out.
Dave is one of those guys. Dave's one of those guys that makes a recruiting trip in July look great.
Wow. Okay. I got to put that in my notes. I'll put that in my notes.
Yeah. Hey, Dave like me, when he go out of town, he packing, he putting the stuff on the bed and he laying it out. He take this. It ain't no just throw it in a duffel bag and roll. Without with him. No. He's taking garment bags every trip. Ain't no garment bags. Must be. Carry on. But anyway, Coach, speaking of such, we're talking about like a dress code, and as a coach that takes put so much into their public appearance. Do you have a dress code for your players? Do you got, when you travel, do y'all? Because I know that a couple of years back, the NCAA allowed programs to outfit or buy outfit for their players. Like one thing, what was it? You can probably refresh my memory. It was one suit and a tie. Football had different things than basketball, but what was it? A lot of people may not know that you guys are able to do that or permitted to do so for your programs.
Yeah, so that was something that some schools took advantage of, some did not. You know, this is my take on it, right? And obviously, as you mentioned, appearance means a lot to me. One thing that we are able to do is just what you said, Jimmy, is that when one of our guys comes in, we automatically outfit them. We buy them a suit, shirt, tie, shoes, the whole thing. Mainly because when I don't want people to see them in shorts and a shirt all the time to think that they're just a basketball player. So we put them in front of people to see them in a different light so that they can start to be understood of more than just an athlete. So that's important to me. The other side of it is travel, and not just travel, but society has changed a little bit. You know, it used to be, as an NBA player, if you sat out a game, you had a suit and tie on at the end of the bench. You know, that Michael Jordan dressed like that. You know, one of my guys, Ray Allen, is still to this day dressed like that. But if you look at the end of an NBA bench right now, they got a jacket on, but you know, the jeans are ripped, the T-shirt is on, the sneakers are there. So the society has changed in terms of its formal wear.
Yes.
So I'm more lax now than I ever was. If we're traveling, particularly because we travel privately, you know, we comfort means as much. So to be able to, you know, put on a sweatsuit, although it got to be uniform to me, I give them that. You know, I've had to stand down a little bit on what I believe for their comfort. And, you know, you can't be, you got to pick your battle, basically. And that's not a battle that I continue to want to or needed to win.
And so now, at this point, the NCAA schedule is set to start for college teams on the November the 25th, next Wednesday. A lot of teams have been forced to cancel games. A lot of teams have certain protocol that has prohibited them from even playing this early. What's the state of what's going on over at DePaul right now? What's, you know, with your program? And you guys recently had some news about the program about a week and a half ago, I think, about different sports. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so, you know, we're, like I said, we're like everybody else. You know, we haven't been immune to it. We've had, you know, case here, case there. You know, we're currently in the middle of a process that, you know, this week we had another case or two. So the problem is the city has protocol, university has protocol. Sometimes they align, sometimes they don't. So we're trying to figure out best practices, even as we speak, to be able to start next Wednesday or to hold off or whatever is in the best interest of the health and welfare of these kids. And so I'm at the mercy of, you know, I sit in a chair of decision maker, but in this case, I'm at the mercy of the higher ups and what they want to do. You know, cases have spiked in all 50 states. Here in Illinois, it's gone crazy. Here in Chicago, it's gone crazy. So trying to be safe and play games is you know, kind of crashing into each other. So the honest answer is I'm not exactly sure what today or tomorrow might bring. You know, we may say we're practicing and we may say we're not. I don't know, just because this has been a tough week in terms of trying to keep everybody safe.
And now the players have been granted the opportunity to come back for another year of eligibility, right? All players, all scholarship players. Seniors, how's that going to work for the most part? I don't want to put you on the spot for your single program, but from a lot of your colleagues, what are they planning to do, or how they're planning? What would dictate, or how will a senior know if they will be allowed to come back? Because some, they have the opportunity. Just because they have the opportunity don't mean the coach is they're going to have the opportunity at that particular school, right?
Right. So, you know, the when that came out, you know, you clap your hand, boy, that's really good. They're you know, giving these kids an opportunity, and rightfully so. To, you know, this year is so strange. the challenge for every coach and every university is one, can your school afford it? Because you're going to have to take on extra scholarships for that particular year, next year. Two, the onus is on us to be able to understand, you've promised these scholarships to freshmen. We're not going to take those away. You can't take those away and say, hey, by the way, love you. Thanks for committing to us. Thanks for signing with us, but, you can't come. So it's more about your seniors than anything else. If you're going to carry 3 seniors or 4 seniors and they want to come back, or you invite them to come back, or whatever that conversation is, then, that's on you. And that's on the players. So you go from 13 to maybe 16 scholarship players. Well, you know how this business works. Trying to keep 8 guys happy ain't really easy, never mind 16. So that's going to be the dilemma that we have to face in terms of doling out playing time, or, all these freshmen come in with expectations. And we just had a really good recruiting class. We brought in 5 guys and are ranked, really high in the country. So there's an expectation those guys are going to get on the court, even from my standpoint. And so the way I've tried to think about it or handle it is, I try not to make a decision until I have to. So I said the same thing to our guys, let's get through this time. Let's get through these moments. You might have the year of your life and want to go out and make money. You may have the year of life and want to duplicate it by coming back. We're going to support you in the decision that you want to make, but just know that, it's going to be a challenge for everybody. As I said, for us coaches across the country, it's a beautiful thing, but it's going to be a major undertaking to try to keep guys happy. And, guys come to college, one, to leave early, or to leave even earlier if they're not playing. So that dilemma is in front of us as well.
And then now the high school recruiting. How does that change for schools of your magnitude? And also, to be fair with it, let's go through the levels and through the layers, if you will. What is your projections or how the high school players will be recruited and offers moving forward as a result of this backlog right now? This is a reset button that everybody's playing now.
Yeah.
Right. So there's so many layers to this, guys, in that one, we're in the middle of a pandemic, right? So coaches are sitting at their office in their house or at their school without a whole lot of normalcy. So they're on the phone recruiting regardless, so they're making calls. So, that part of it doesn't change, but so much. The dynamics is you don't get to know a kid because you're not with them personally. You're not in their home. You're not, watching them play in person. They're not on campus. So you don't exactly know what you're getting. If and when they pass this new rule with immediate eligibility, the transfer market, which has already gone crazy, is going to explode even more. So if you dial it down to the high school kids, a kid, especially there in Texas and Houston and Dallas, there's a lot of kids every single year that go under the radar, so to speak, that emerge as really good college players. So somebody that might typically go to Texas or Texas Tech or Texas A&M might end up going to North Texas, or Houston Baptist, because they just didn't get seen the way they need to get seen, and have a heck of a career, when they should be at a level above where they're recruited. So that's going to create a challenge, because what's that kid to do? Does he keep and stay his career, or does he transfer, and become a part of that market? There's so many more questions right now than answers to this thing, that will not get rolled out until we get in real time. But I think if you ask me, as you're asking me, the high school kids will get a little bit less attention than they always have, because the transfer market, just like we've had with the 5th-year graduate market, has become so prevalent. That's right. It may not be that way for great players, but if you're at a mid-major level and you're having a good career, you probably think you could be playing at a higher level. If you decide to take that leap, it may not be the same, because you're playing with other guys, of that same cloth and that same talent level. So you got to figure all these things out in real time. And so it's going to be a real challenge for everybody.
How would you know? That's the thing from the other side. What are some ways? Because now it was already not a level playing field. A lot of the recruiting game, and a lot of parents on the chop shop, we try our best to go and hit the nail over and over and explain to parents there's so much that you will probably not know until it's too late about this recruiting stuff. And you're going up against college coaches in essence, you guys are professionals, which you are, not even in what you do. So that means the parent, if they're blessed to get to endure this one time, they hit lotto if they endure the Division I recruiting experience twice. And in some parents, very rare air is the 3 times and more. But what kind of tips can you give the parent? Because what happens is now they may not be willing to believe. They would think that some people are hating if we're telling them, hey, look, the people not offering your baby. You might want to check. That was a coupon that expired back in January.
Yeah, boy, that might be the most important question of all in this business, right? So coaches are professionals, trained professionals. You know, we're salesmen. The problem is some do it from the heart very genuinely, and some do it as used car salesmen, you know, and you take a mom and a dad or a kid or somebody who's going through it the first time, they don't know. Right. So sometimes the best sales job is the most believable, you know, and I've had many instances. I just had one, you know, in last month where you walking into a beehive and you don't even know it because, you know, the old adage of I wish I knew then what I know now. And you try to, unfortunately, this is the problem we have all over society, is that the more status you have, the more believability that comes with it. It doesn't make you an expert, right? So if you turn on the television and watch ESPN or CNN or Fox or whatever, you know, it's mostly entertainment. But the person behind the mic and the person listening to that person behind the mic are believable. Same case here, in that, you know, if you got a resume, you become more believable, whether you are telling the truth or not. And you put naivety of one-time experience with going through this recruiting process from a family in the middle of that's a bad recipe. And so I almost wish, if you asked me the question, that there was a panel or people of truth tellers that knew behind the scenes who was and who wasn't and could tell the truth, you know. But that's a really hard thing too, because you know what schools are selling, you really want to buy. So egotistically or otherwise, if I tell you you're great and you're going to start and you want to hear that, you're probably going to believe that.
Right. Coach, I got a unique thing, Jimmy, and I was just thinking about some. It's the unique dynamic between that. The coach is responsible. He's the CEO. He's responsible for 13 players. Mama and daddy in recruit. Mom and daddy, they're concerned about their player. And coach, I found sometimes they forget about that you the conductor of this orchestra. And you got to make sure the piccolo player and you got to make sure it's right. And all mama is thinking about is my son playing first chair. My son's the best. My son. So that's another dynamic that I've just been finding out that the parents don't understand either, Coach.
So look at it this way: if you play tennis or you play golf, that's an individual sport. Everybody can focus in on you as you can focus in on yourself. I've always said this: who's more important to the NBA, LeBron James or the Cleveland Cavaliers? LeBron James or the Miami Heat? LeBron James or the Los Angeles Lakers? It's LeBron James.
Yes, sir.
So we have an individualistic sport within a team sport, okay? Which means it puts at odds kind of the point that you're making, in that it's about you. You know, it's about you, really about the team. And I've got to, every coach, not just me, got to balance the individualism of a guy who is talented, who has a future, who has a dream, whose family wants to support that dream, with understanding that from a team standpoint, that's the only way that you can become successful. Not the only way, but that's the major way you become successful. That the team has to come before you. That is a foundation of team sports. And somewhere along the line, you know, that gets polluted, and you have blurred lines in between what really is most important. in a sport where, as I said, you can be an individual and still consider yourself part of a team. So it's one of our major challenges. You get guys, 13 or 15 guys in the gym that all have been told somewhat around the same thing, that we're going to support your dream, knowing that the best you should be or could be for that program is a tremendous role player. But trying to convince them to be an all-star at your role is the challenge that we all face.
Jimbo?
I mean, and you're dropping some good nuggets, and for all of the parents and viewers, if you just tuning in, this is Coach Dave Laytow, and he's the head men's basketball coach at DePaul, where widely known, widely respected around the collegiate ranks, and also, won't you let's shift and go a little deeper so people can have understanding. A lot of the rules that are made and presented by the NCAA, can you briefly just take us and to provide a little education on the chain of how there are different committees? Just because coaches may want certain things, the athletic, who's actually the persons or the individuals that represents the schools that actually are asked to vote on different things? Is it the coaches? Is it the assistant coaches? Is it the president? Is it the athletic director? I mean, because sometimes some stuff don't make sense. Well, a lot of stuff don't make sense that are voted on, and it sounds a little hypocritical or contradicting to what some coaches may believe. Elaborate on that.
Yeah, so coaches and players especially are on the front lines of all of these actions, playing and decisions that are made. But by and large, we don't have, nearly the voice, particularly the student athletes don't really have a voice, in this whole thing. And I think what we're trying to do right now is have them have more of a voice than ever before because of the times that we're living in. So coaches belong to certain, groups as part of the coaching fraternity or even as part of the NCAA. They can be on certain committees. The NABC, the National Association for Basketball Coaches, is comprised of all of us who coach in college at all levels and get a seat at the NCAA table. But by and large, a simple way to answer your question is there's legislation that has to be rolled out. If something is longstanding or something needs to be changed, that's got to go, through the higher up, starting with the athletic director to your compliance office, who has a connection directly to the presidents. The presidents have more say so than almost anybody in terms of getting to the people that make these decisions, which is the NCAA staff, top to bottom. And so what happens, quite honestly, is because we're on the front lines, we may not know or have the expertise of somebody above us, particularly if you're a student athlete, but you're living it in real time. So what in my opinion should happen even more is having more people who are on the front lines get a seat at the table so that these decisions can be made holistically as opposed to compartmentally, which is kind of how they're attacked right now. The NCAA is going to come down and when they meet in January and vote on certain things. And I think the biggest elephant in the room right now is name, image, and likeness. Well, once that Ed O'Bannon case got ruled on in favor of student athletes, they've taken time to kind of figure out what that's going to be rolled out as. And the student athlete's voice is really not in that. My voice or coach's voice is not really in that. So we're just going to have to kind of take it as it goes. So that's one of many, many, many examples of how, the thing gets rolled out, but in a suggestive way, how can we better serve each other, from student athlete to university, to their coaches, to their athletic directors, presidents, and then ultimately to the NCAA.
Well, here's a good question, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this topic. When schools, when like new locker rooms are being built, right, or renovated for the team, or the lounge for the players. That's an area where some players can go and chill after practice, before practice, after the game, before game, and they have like video games and stuff on the walls and stuff. Okay, when you guys, when I say you guys, I mean colleges are constructing or in the planning stages of those, don't they go to some of the players and ask them what they want or what they would like? And if so, then why don't they come to the coaches and the players and ask them when it comes to some of this legislation that they need that the presidents and the ADs are voting on?
Right. So what happens there, they will say, and let's just take men's and women's basketball, kind of as I mentioned, there are coaches across the country that are on committees that have somewhat of a voice, but again, I'll say this because I told you I'll be honest about this conversation. Hierarchy is hierarchy, and the underrepresented has always been left out in the decision-making process by and large. Now, one may not want to admit the truth behind all of that, but we particularly, again, I'm not going to even advocate for coaches as much as I'm going to advocate for student athletes.
Okay.
They get dictated to every day. Even us as coaches, we tell them when to get up, when to go to bed, when to practice, when to study, when to go to class, all that. And because we call ourselves leaders, and they got to do what they're instructed to do. Well, how do you feel? That's not a question they've ever been really asked like they need to be asked, whether it's about a locker room or legislation. I think hopefully because of what has happened in society over the last year, that will start to change as they become more organized. But you see across the country, my son plays football at the University of Texas. So you know that they've had a problem down there since the fall with, the Eyes of Texas and what has gone on there. So They spoke out. They really spoke out and were unified. Well, today in November, what actually has changed, and so change is slow.
The band decided not to play the song anymore. They've also agreed to name the football stadium after the first scholarship player for and Earl. I think they're gonna name it. They're gonna dual name it, and then also they're gonna build a statue for the first Black scholarship football player at the University of Texas. Now those are three things, and they're adding some diversity stuff. So you don't think that was a base hit? Not necessarily a home run, but a base hit.
My point is not that. I do agree with you 100%. My point to me bringing that up is that what made those changes come about is their voices, and their voices have long been stifled in this process. And so finally, at schools across the country, a student athlete's voice should and can start to have some meaning. And so, not to say that what is going on there is good, bad, or indifferent. I try to live it every day through the voice of my child. So I think I understand. And as you said, there've been some wins. Through this whole process, like you just said, you have when somebody put a bat in your hand, it don't mean you're going to hit a home run. You're just trying to get on base. And this is the great time to stand up to the plate because they never called your number before. And try to put the bat in your hand and use your voice to get on base and be a part of this process. So that's why I am in their corner. If I could tell you both for 1 second, part of what I've done during this pandemic or the racial injustices is been starting a new organization. I would invite you to go into the website and read about it. It's weareabis.org. ABIS is a organization that we started way back in the spring. Gary Charles, who was our CEO.
Yes.
He started, ABIS is the Advancement of Blacks in Sports. Okay.
Yes.
And so it talks about all of these issues relative to everything and everybody in sports, starting with our student athletes, our coaches, our administrators. It started out as a basketball conversation, and now it's covered all sports at all levels, professional, collegiately, high school. We have grassroots coaches. We have high school coaches. We have celebrities. From Ben Crump all the way on down, because it's really important time in our lives to have a voice when we've been for so long voiceless. And so, it's a passion to understand from my vantage point how we could, at this critical point in our history, start to move the needle for those who have been underrepresented for so long.
It's awesome.
The advancement of Blacks in sports, and what's the mission of it. You described it a little bit right then, but and this and when was it born?
It was born, shortly in and around the time where we all came, got a call to arms with the George Floyd murder. A group of a few coaches got, we're talking as colleagues, Leonard Hamilton and people like that. And we're talking to Gary and say, hey, what can we do? We can't control society the way we'd all like to. So we decided to concentrate in our area, which is what we do every day. And as I said, it started with basketball, and it was a conversation. It turned into a movement. It turned into a coalition. It turned into an organization, and we created a 501c3. But in doing that, it was like, well, we can't forget the women. And I will tell you, gentlemen, women are so powerful, particularly Black women. Their organization, their passion, it blows us men away. And so once we said we got to invite the women, it took off from there. There's a women's group, the WOC, Women of Color, that are extremely organized. We went to women's basketball. We went to track and field. We went to baseball. We went to football. We went to, almost every sport imaginable and brought them in because we have a collective understanding that we all go through the same things. There's social and racial injustices in America, but there's also many of them in our sport. And if we could, do things and address things like, African-American studies in high school, to have more of that, or in college, the racial inequity of the ACT and SAT, hiring practices across the board for coaches of color, administrators. So there's so many things about our mission that we're trying to cover without, covering everything. So that's why, we've grown into something that we could hopefully have and last for a long time, beyond the times that we're in. Because I know, as I said, change is not easy. It takes a long time, and maybe a generation past mine or 2 generations past mine, we look at this sport that we love and that we play a little bit differently than we do now.
So since the George Floyd tragedy, May the 25th, is there anything that you can that you care to highlight that you think that you feel that after the advancement of Blacks in sports, the ABIS was formed? Is there anything? Tell us some of the success or some of the things that you've seen the needle move since the galvanizing of the men and women together, pushing for that. Because I'm sensing, and this is powerful. And if it's this powerful, you're talking about in Blacks, then that becomes a threat to the establishment. So, and surely you know that. So first of all, can you tip your brim to as of things that you probably gotten the attention of the establishment with so forth? Some issue that you mentioned, I know a lot of people have gotten their players registered to vote. So that's a free space in bingo now. So we're way past that, because that part there was something that, I know that's got the attention to many. What else?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, that was a call to arms that was immediate. So, we had a subcommittee that was in charge of voter registration, not just for, the people associated with ABIS, but colleges and universities across the country. So, we went to work, and that happened to come across very, very well, from that standpoint. Other than that, there's been so many wins. It's hard to kind of bring up all of them, but for the most part, it's all a work in progress at the same point in time for those core initiatives that become really, really important. So let me mention a couple of them, and I've said it already. So understand, and this is not so much a win because we're still in the middle of it. In the last 3 Final Fours, 47 out of the 60 starters are young men of color, right? Within that 3-week March Madness, there are 20 vendors that do business with the NCAA. zero of color. Okay, so the win is one, a call to arms that is a fact. Two, to start having conversations with not just the NCAA, but on college campuses to be able to understand that dynamic and how that needs to change. Okay, so that's one. If you talk about specific wins, Jimmy, it's just for us organizationally, because you know how this world we live in goes. If you're not unified, you know, we're going to break you. And I think that's been a large part of what we're trying to do, and what we have wanted is to unify a group of people who have been split for so very long. You know, the unification between you and I is that we have the same passion for young people. We represent the same race, so we have the same thought process. But you know, as grassroots coaches, as high school coaches, as college coaches, as administrators, we've been separated. You know, and we've been at each other's throat. So part of the win is, let's come together for the first time ever and create a unified force and a unified front, because the players in this case are the oil that drives the engine that makes billions of dollars at the front lines of the NCAA. So we need a seat at the table. So before we can have all these initiatives, you know, come into play, the first win is to become unified. And we've done that, and we're still in the process of growing, because, you know, we're talking about athletic directors, compliance officers, anybody who understands the mission that we're in and involved in, and can help advance the cause moving forward.
No, I ain't got nothing to say, man. You know what, Coach, I'm sitting here. Coach, you've been watching this show, Coach. Coach, I'm sitting here talking about the things for the last 4 years on this show, and I was so proud. I saw a show, I don't know what it is, Gary Charles was talking about this, and I love when he talked about that initiative. He was talking about the Final Four, and he was talking about the vendors, and it blew me away. That's when the first time I heard about ABIS. And I'll never forget, Coach, Alan Branch, I'm sure you know who he is. He with me and him talking one day, and he was just saying, Robert, you know, a lot of people going to get mad at me about this. I said, I don't care what nobody going to get mad. He said, but Robert, look around the gym. All the kids in the gym are black. But when you go and look who the guys running the things and running things, they're white. He said it's a black man's game, but a white man's business. And we got to get in the business part of it. Thank God we got guys like Jim Hicks and guys like Gary Charles. But we need some more Jimmy Hicks. We need some more Gary Charles. So the NCAA can't just say, okay, this is just the way it is. All of our vendors are the people we know. If y'all don't never tell them about it and nobody never say anything about it, them people going to keep doing the same thing. They've been doing it. So I can't wait. And let me tell you something. I just looked at your website. Unbelievably done. First class done. You can find anything you want. As you're talking, I'm going through it. I can't wait to comb through it after I get off. Unbelievable. You can chime in at any time. I just thank you for having you on the show today, man. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. And I would invite both you, Rob, and Jimmy to even be on a call of ours. We meet every other Thursday. We're meeting tonight,
okay.
To listen and understand, where we're coming from.
Okay.
Because we're still in the process of unifying ourselves.
Okay.
Since 1712, it's been divide and conquer.
Yes.
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 Jimmy, you and I have been knowing each other for a long time, when we had to stick together because there wasn't very many of us around. Now, if you're looking at Jim, as you say, Rob, and you see, black players and black coaches all over the place, it's a powerful entity.
Yeah.
But we don't control anything.
Yeah.
And part of it is because we haven't had a seat at the table, and the other part has been systematically kept us out, by being our own worst enemies, because the system has said, if I get to step over you, then that makes me triumph while putting you down. And now we want to be able to have both of us succeed by locking arms together. So if you want, I can get you the stuff to get on the call and just understand where we're coming from. And I didn't mean for this conversation to go there.
It needed to go there, Coach. It needed to go there, Coach. Coach, what it seemed like to me, y'all are taking a page out of Tyler Perry's book. He said Hollywood wouldn't give me a seat at the table. I'm gonna make my own table. And see, that's what I'm loving. If a lot of people, talk that stuff, he said he got tired of begging Hollywood, man, finance my film, give me a studio, give me the, okay. He goes by 300 acres in Atlanta and builds his own studio that's bigger than all of theirs put together.
Right.
Coach, that's the kind of stuff, man, that I can't wait. I'm glad you didn't intentionally tell us about this. I know about ABIS, but guess what? I'm going to take a deep dive in it now. And thank you for mentioning it. Faith comes by hearing and hearing. I had to hear it twice for me to get it this time. So I got it. I got it this time.
Appreciate it very much.
And I mean, and speaking of, I remember back in the days, Coach, there's been movements of such in the past, and you were involved directly, indirectly in some of the movements to galvanize a lot of blacks that were in power or in position from different ranks. And I was telling Hatter, I told a story about maybe 2 months ago on the Chop Shop. We were in, I think, at the Final Four in Indianapolis one night.
He was in that room. Coach was in that room.
Damn tornado coming through the damn downtown. You remember that? A tornado coming through downtown, tornado watch. They shut the whole place down, and we were having a meeting of such. And it was one of those meetings where you did not know this meeting was going to take place unless somebody had to walk you into and let you know. This was one of those meetings where, I got to go. No. This was a serious meeting. There was some serious folk in that room. You remember that, Coach?
I think I remember it was a Sunday night.
Yes.
And Big John Thompson, God rest his soul, organized it between the black coaches and the BCA and the media.
What? Yes.
So we used to have that meeting on Sunday nights, in between the semifinal and final game on Monday, and just sit in the room and do what we're doing now. You share stories, you share problems, you try to be joined together in the understanding of how we can roll this out and what was fair for coaches, what was fair for media, but most importantly, how we could help kids. And the beauty of John Thompson goes well past his sidelines, accomplishments, a national championship, and what he did to change college basketball. He, as I remember, and the BCA, had been the one place and the one safe zone from a coach of color can go to and understand, your plight and what you got to go through. And so this organization is meant to be that and more, because it's not just basketball, but we have to worry about certain things. I think, and I went from participant to president of the BCA over the years, and it has to be about financial sustainability. It has to be about mission, and it has to be about work. The simple theme of the BCA is a simple theme now. It's not what you get, it's what you give. And once you understand that there's a lot that you can give to advance the lives of our kids and the lives of black people in general, then it becomes easier to be about the cause.
Coach, I got to get a question in. We had a question here earlier.
We got a few of them. In.
Oh, yes. You got it? Did you see her? Did you get the
one?
No,
we got a couple of them in that we give, and I think one was about walk-ons.
That's one. That's the one.
And you have that one in front of you, Hatter?
I thought I did. That is not up here. It's not up here right now. I thought I did. And she was just talking about, what are your thoughts on walk-ons, especially in this COVID-19 environment? I think that's the gist of it.
Just explain the walk-on process and how it will be affected as a result of COVID. I think that's probably because a lot of people out there just are in situations where they understand that the lack of offers may be there for a Division I prospect or a borderline prospect for certain programs, but then some people may be willing to take the gamble if a walk-on opportunity is there. and they can come in on their own dime. Some people may have military benefits. They can go to school for free or whatnot. So explain, how does the walk-on stuff work now,
Right.
as opposed to before?
So the first and most important thing is communication, understanding, that we've not been DePaul, we've been everybody. We have an opportunity to have a walk-on a team. And I don't really, I've never called them walk-ons, to be honest with you. They're non-scholarship players.
Gotcha.
I think it kind of gives them a little bit more respect to the existence that they're in. And I come from a place where, shucks, when we had our first national championship, we had a non-scholarship guy that played 27 minutes a game, in the NCAA tournament. And so I understand the value of it. So my suggestion is, if you're in a situation where scholarships that you think should come your way are not there, then communication with a school or schools that you think, this is the most important part. You've got to be understanding of what level is good for you. Because if you say, hey, I want to go to DePaul and I'm going to do it as a walk-on, my first thing is, unless you come from a space that I've never seen, we got to understand that your playing time is going to be little to none. And so you might be a Division I player and just not a high major player. So you got to figure out, if you're going to go with an expectation that you want to get on the court and contribute, then you got to understand the level of which you inquire about. Okay, I think that's the first and most critical part.
Okay.
And then understanding that, through your hard work and through your, everything that matters, your academic pursuits, who you are as an individual. Because if you're not on scholarship, you better be a really good student and a really good kid. Because when you walk in that gym, people are going to look at you differently because you weren't recruited to go to school there. You can get over that stigma, but like I said, you've got to be, fulfilling the opportunity that's provided for you, because in COVID, we're just not able to see each other in the same light. So the short answer in a long way to tell you is communication, to reach out to as many schools as you potentially can, and understand that because we can't be, watching games in Houston or Dallas or in LA or New York, that, this is the best way that I can, as a kid or a family member, promote my child's usefulness to your program. Send film, all those kind of things, and spark communication with coaches, especially assistants, because they look at it from a day-by-day, on a day-by-day basis, and then see where it lands you.
Awesome. Got another one, Jim?
Yeah, we have another one, and back about the ABIS, the advancement of blacks in sports. And here's a message from one of the viewers. Shannon says, I have reviewed ABIS. There seems to be one segment missing: sports officials. I am working with minority officials, NBA down to high school, that would like to partner with ABIS in its efforts to bring some synergy to both organizations' efforts. Who should we connect with at ABIS to discuss a possible collaboration? And attorney Shannon Holmes.
Yeah, that is phenomenal, because 100% right. And that's what I said before. Everybody in their own space can legitimately talk about how difficult it is to navigate and go through, being a referee on any level, being an administrator, being a coach, being a student athlete, what have you. So the short answer to that is to, you can start with me. It'll eventually go to Gary. Because and Gary and I talk 18 times a day sometimes. And the leadership group of ABIS, we get on the phone and have conversations, and this is not exclusive to anybody, and it's inclusive to everybody.
That's good.
And so we want to make sure that we do that too. So I'll if you want, I can. You have my information, Jimmy. You can pass it along to said individual.
Yeah.
And they can communicate with me by email, and we can have a conversation, and then I can take it from there.
Got it. On top of it, Jimmy, I got Shannon's information, so you just let me know.
Good.
Okay.
Good. What we have another question, right? How did you found?
No, I didn't get one. No, a young coach. We got a young kid. Jacoby said, Coach, what do you tell a young coach like him? I guess he's a avid listener and supporter of the Chop Shop, and he's always is energetic on the feed. But he just want to know, what's your advice to a young guy just trying to be a coach and trying to get where you are?
So love the game, love the sport, love people. That's first. You got to do it from your heart. Immerse yourself in the teaching and the learning part of it. The X's and O's, the personalities, all those. And then the most critical part, we live in a world of who you know. So you just got to find yourself, introducing yourself in whatever way you can to as many people as you possibly can. And then you got to be able to set expectation. So, what I say to people, if you love coaching and you want to help young people, does it matter if you do it at Odessa College, Houston Baptist, or Kentucky? You're a coach. And so the disappointment is that, hey, I want to be a Division I coach. And if I'm not, then there's failure associated with that. Well, then you're not really a coach. You're a coach with expectations. And so, we all want to, there, and I say this all the time and talking to younger coaches, there are only but so many jobs to be had. If you want to be a head coach, there's only, 353, I think the number is in Division I. So there's a lot more NBA players than there are college coaches.
Right.
And, so you know how hard it is to become an NBA player. It's even harder to become a college coach. And assistants all want to be head coaches. The first thing I tell them is most of you not going to be a head coach, because just the numbers alone, then you've got to be able to navigate what it takes beyond just the love of the game or putting the time in and how to get there. And a lot of it has to do with your personality and how that your personality and your expertise matches with people that matter.
That's awesome. And Coach, I want to be conscious of your time. So give us, because we'll keep going all day now. I want to be conscious of your time. So just let me know.
I mean, Coach, and he knows
the
Chop Shop rocks like that.
I know.
And Coach, do you realize that we've been on 1 hour with you right now?
Yeah.
Well, my wife tells me all the time I talk too doggone much. So, and especially about things that I love to talk about. So, we've done this in small circles. And I would say this because I do have to leave in a couple of minutes. My phone is blowing up for the matters that our team's health. And so I've got to get some personnel that are looking for me. But at the same point in time, I could do this forever. You want me to be a regular? I'll be a regular. I would say this: when my vote. Career is done, I've got my show planned out already, and it's going to be about what I can't talk about from this chair. I'm going to call it Against the Grain, so we can talk about the things that you can't talk about when you have to be politically correct.
My man,
give us 2 of them right now.
He can't talk about it now, Jimmy.
Yeah, he said at the top of the show, he said he will talk about it right now.
Okay. Excuse me.
Well, I will say this. You all know this as well as I do. In society, just as in this business, there's the real. Okay. We got to be able to, at some point, talk real information. And without understanding that there's retribution. And I think that's part even with ABIS. It's to protect people like me who want to speak our mind all the time, but we got to protect coaches.
Yes.
Sometimes against themselves. And so that's why we created this organization. But for me personally, when you've been doing this, I started this business in 1984. And so I've seen a lot of things, and I haven't seen everything. I've been at the highest level of mountain cutting down a net, and I've been at the lowest level that you could possibly be in this business. So I think my perspective comes from as a truth teller, but I also know I have to protect, myself, my family, and those around me, the school I represent. And so, at some point, I want to be able to let my head down, put my chapeau on like you do, Jimmy, and be able to speak the truth. And so that to answer your question, there's a lot, you know that more than I do.
Well, guess what? You got a platform. All you got to do is send me a text. What you want to talk about. Let me tell you something. I can talk about it, Coach. I'm going to protect you. I can talk about it. But I got one more, Coach, which is a quick one when we get out, because we talked about this other day, because I went on a little rampage about, and one of the people said that if we have time, ask Coach about the conversation I had the other day about the lack of a lack of American superstars going into the draft? And are you seeing the love of the game change with the kids? Because, Coach, what I did, I looked at the draft and I just watched and I just didn't see no star. And I'm saying, where are our stars? Where are our great players? And then Coach, I heard LaMelo Ball. He give all the GMs a folder, a clear binder with his social media influences on it. And Anthony Edwards go into an interview and said, "Man, if the NFL would have drafted me, I'd rather go to the NFL." Coach, I know you could take us out with that, Coach. It kind of bothered me, Coach, and I had to pray about it last night. But I'm glad I got a man who's been part of this game so long about it, with it. What you think about that, Coach? I tried to give it to you quick as I could.
Yeah. So you know, I don't think people change. I think the things around them change. You know, so we all say, "Hey, in my generation, in my generation, my generation." Players today are as talented as they've ever been.
Okay.
The issue that we face is that they have more what we would call distractions.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I never heard of the word influencer until the last few years. You know?
That's Jimmy's favorite word.
Am I spending my time figuring out how to be a great player, or I'm on TikTok, or all those things that are in front of these young guys today? So Anthony Edwards is a phenomenal generational talent, but he's got a lot of interests. You know, he wanted to be a football player, as you mentioned. He's already talked about being a rapper.
Yeah.
He's talked about the things that get in the way of your singular goal, which is to be the greatest basketball player that you could possibly be, because God has gifted you with a talent that he's given only to a few. So I don't know if that's the exact answer, but there's a little bit of a traffic jam in their minds and in their lives as to, you know, where the GPS is going. And if God has blessed you, you know, the next one up at bat is Amani Bates, correct? Because he's been talked about for so long. You know, if the concentration, not just for him, but the people around him, is to become the best and greatest player you could be, well, his talent could probably speak to that. But if he now starts thinking about, and those around him start thinking about all those other things that you talked about or that are in front of these kids, you know, those just become roadblocks on the way to greatness. And I think that becomes part of the challenge that these young guys face, because they don't know, they're just young.
Yeah.
And which, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And you have to be. And so part of it is to understand you've been given a gift, and God is going to ask you every day what you're going to do with that gift. And if it's today about being a football player and tomorrow is about being a rapper and an influencer and likes and all that, that's less time. Even if you're putting time in the gym, that's less time that you have to focus in on greatness.
Oh, Coach, I'm done.
I
can't wait to go back and listen to the show again, but keep going.
Yeah, I mean, you're dropping nuggets in it when you're giving the real, and that's the only way we know how to serve it on the Chop Shop. Yeah. And we appreciate you for being candid and transparent. And we'll shift right now. I wanted to ask you, another person to ask is, first, you mentioned the draft a while ago, and you had a player, you had Paul Reed, that got drafted in the second round. And take us through the process so people can understand when, like, Paul was the red ant in your ant bed. Now he has been deemed one of the 60 greatest prospects by the NBA in the world because they drafted him of this year, of this draft potential player or pool of players. Well, what goes into that? Meaning that was that about the range? Was that below the range? Now you can speak on, did he was going to go first round? Did he think it was going, you know, let us know what and reflect on that in the process of him being selected. What was it? 52?
58, really? 58. Yeah.
58.
By Philadelphia. Paul is a very unique story. And coming out of high school, you know, he might have been a top 200, 250, 300, whatever that number means, I don't know, out of Orlando, Florida. And most of the local schools, you know, didn't give him the time of day other than his dad's home out of Central Florida. So, you know, we took him, and quite honestly, I knew he was talented to be a prospect in a year and a half, or to be drafted after 3 years, no one could have predicted. But credit to him for his work and what he's put into to make himself into a potential pro. So that process, unfolded as, wow, we recognize as a sophomore that he has a lot of talent. We start putting him, in a position. He towards the middle of the year and at the end of the year was somewhere between projections 16, 18, 20 to maybe 35. Okay, so he, like most kids, made a decision that I'm going to make this leap to the NBA and forego my last year. We supported him on that, as you got to, because it's a dream come true for professional and financial reasons. And then going through the process, I think the thing that Paul is going through right now, which dropped him, quite honestly, to late in the second round, is that he is still new to this whole experience. He's not just new to the game and how he's a potential guy. He can do a lot of things, but he's not polished in one area just yet. Not a great shooter, although he rebounds the head out of the ball and some other things. But his mindset as to how he's taking that one step from amateur to now, quote unquote, professional is still under construction. He's going through the process of maturing and understanding. And I think, teams recognize that, and some, as a result, may not have wanted to invest an earlier draft pick on somebody that is going to take a little bit of time, both physically and emotionally. He's a great kid. I wouldn't be around him if he wasn't. And I believe that he's going to, spend the rest of his years playing this game for a long time. But it's, he's not like a lot of these guys, he's not a finished product. And as part of that, I think the NBA has judged guys, it doesn't mean it's an exact science. If somebody in the top 15 is going to be a bust, and somebody from, 35 to 50 is going to become really good. And so it just needs time to determine who's who and what's what.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very good the way you just ended on that conversation, that statement. Somebody in the top 15 would be a bust, and somebody in the latter part, 35 to 50, is going to be really good. And it happens like that all the time in every draft. It's the strength in numbers, or law of averages, as I would say, fulfills that rationale. And have you ever had a player that left early and you tried to keep him, prevent him to just try to convince him, to stay, and did not get drafted? And what are those situations like as a coach?
If we had a player, you're saying, that left early and did not get drafted, that we try to convince to
stay? Yeah,
that's a great question. I got to go back in time a little bit. I'm sure that, especially my years at UConn when we were really good and we had guys every year.
You was there when Emeka was there. That's when I met you.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. You put me on the spot in terms of a specific name, but the answer to the question is yes. It's been those guys, and it's an unfortunate. It's almost like we were talking about earlier with recruiting. You got to understand the true value of your worth, not as you see it, but how others see it. Having self-pride and ego is critically important, but your strength can also be your weakness and can get in the way of understanding how you're viewed. And so those conversations can become really difficult, because if you're trying to tell somebody, I believe in you, and at the same point in time you tell them you may not be ready, you probably looked at it as a hater, and people around will call you out on it when you're just trying to be a truth teller. So it has happened. I don't know off the top of my head, Jimmy, if I could come up with a name. My mind is all over the place right now, but it has happened. It's a very difficult process to see that young man. Miles Powell didn't get drafted last night.
Yes.
He had a draft party. He was dressed to the nine and all that. And the expectation was, and I played against him, we've played against him for 4 years. And man, there's not a better person that kept me up late at night than Miles Powell. So even though it doesn't fall into that category of which we're talking about, Jimmy, there's disappointment that comes with this whole process.
Yeah,
he's got to use that as motivation and fuel to keep moving forward, because anybody who's successful has been successful because they've been through a ton of hardships.
Yes, sir.
They've been told no a million times. And so that is one of the biggest key ingredients to becoming successful is dealing with failure. So we've had it and we deal with it as best we can.
That's awesome. Coach?
And of course, speaking of Powell, he did, even though he did not get drafted, he was fortunate enough to get a deal, non-guaranteed, of course, with the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And they're gonna bring him in. But lastly, Coach, your thoughts on grassroots basketball? I'm sorry, the live period that, well, not live period, but the period from which Division I coaches were permitted to come out and evaluate players. At first, it was January, after January the 1st. Well, yesterday it was pushed all the way to April the 15th now.
Right.
So now you guys will not be able to evaluate in person any player, any prospect, at least until April the 15th. What do you think that date is going to really settle and open up at? Would that be something?
It's really a shame to the process. I understand it because of the safety measures that have to be put in place. Again, on the real, what part of what decisions are made, not just in this particular case with basketball, but across the country, are for health, safety, and welfare, or for political reasons, right? So we always have to figure that out. But because of that coming down yesterday, we're talking about the spring signing period, which is in the middle of April, not being able to physically be in the same space as a prospect. That there's going to be a lot more mistakes than ever before made on kids just because you just don't know, not just about their talent, but about their situation. We can talk on a Zoom and man, what a heck of a kid, what a great family. And the opposite can be true, and vice versa. So, the space that we're in, we got to get really used to. I think it comes down to relationships. You got to have strong relationships with people that you trust when they say, hey, this kid, believe me when I tell you, Dave, this kid can go and he's got a great family. And then that relationship is going to have to take a larger part in this recruiting process. So as we talked about before, these kids, unfortunately, a lot of them are going to be left out because the exposure that comes in a high school season or in an AAU season is so critical to this process. And without it, we suffer, but the kids suffer even more.
Man, I mean, it's going to be a rough time, man. It really is, because a lot of people have basically been led to believe that they have to play a certain place, they have to play with a certain team, and in order to get recruited. And truth be told, now with the abundance of videos and live streams, your staff, of course, you got Billy Garrett. A lot of people. Billy Garrett's a legend from out of Chicago. He's been around. Has a son that ended up playing, was All-American. And you got Coach Shue. Used to be at Texas Southern University. T. Harvey. You got Coach Shue over there. Coach Shue. Coach Shue he working his way up. He's up next on the best dressed list. He ain't there yet, but he getting there. We he coming. Tell him.
And let's see he got to break a coach's closet first before he ain't there yet. Jimmy, you right. He coming up.
No.
Okay.
Now T. Harvey might be teetering for that list though.
No. T. Harvey, he's sharp, but. No, I'm not gonna say that. That's my man. But no, he ain't on this list. He ain't on. Hold up. He got the threads, but you got to be able to. The threads have to be able to lay on you also, Jimmy.
And T. Harvey he walk around with a gallon of water with him everywhere he go. Gallon of water.
Coach, I'm just telling you. That's how the tailor said. Man, I watch the way it lay. Coach, know what I'm talking about? The way it lay, the way it lay at the neck of your back, and all that kind of stuff. It's got to lay on you, right, Jimmy? I'm just helping you out.
So now, your staff, how often do they watch the live streams? Because a lot of people, my thing is this. The coaches are if the coaches are watching these games via live stream, and you're still not getting contacted by them, that means they probably did not pique their interest by means of the live stream. So coming from hearing the music come directly from a different set of speakers. Are you guys watching games, and have you or your staff extended any offer to a prospect during the pandemic by watching them on a stream?
The answer to both of those questions, is yes. We watch them, but it comes down to the same thing. So we got to evaluate, just like if there was a live weekend that somebody put together. We got to evaluate the quality of it, before we invest our time and our money to go down to, El Paso, Texas, to go see an event, or to come to, an EYBL or Under Armour event. We've got to evaluate it versus our time and our money. Same thing with these live streams that, some people are doing it because there's a really good concentration of players. The competition overall is good. The quality of the presentation is good. So it's worth the time, and especially the monetary investment. And then some are not. Some are just trying to make some money. So we got to figure out that part of it, and then understand, where and how to invest, because everybody's looked at this time and still got to support their family. So shoot, those things, we can do, 1 million of them a week if we so choose. So I think that's part of the decision. But yes, there's something, but it goes back to what I said, and I got to leave you with this because I got people looking at me. Those relationships become critical. So if Cheat is having an event and it's live stream, and he said, Dave, these is going to go be there, I know my staff and I got to be part of that because of that relationship and the quality work that you do every single day. If John Doe do it and he's saying, hey, I think I'm gonna have X, Y, and Z players there, and then you go on and they're not there, and the stream is, you can't really see it, and that evaluation process becomes hard anyway, then that's not time well served. And so, kind of got to go case by case and understand who's doing it and who's going to be there and the quality of it. So that's the way I look at it.
Well, Coach, get out of here. Jimmy, no. Coach, get out of here. Go to this meeting, man. Coach got to go to this meeting. Jimmy, you don't like to be on time. Jimmy, you don't like to be on time. He does.
We didn't give him one name to share his last thought on, and that is former Sam Rayburn High School star that you just got. Of course, he signed. Of course, the NCAA rules say coaches cannot talk about prospects unless they have signed a letter of intent. So if this young man, Keon Edwards, from out of Houston,
I got you. Okay,
is now signed. Has he signed with DePaul? Yes. Okay, so I mean you could talk about him now. So reflect on Keon.
Quick, Coach.
You talk about Mark Shue, and Mark's done a wonderful job of recruiting him and his family. So he answers a lot of the questions, or checks off a lot of the boxes of what I think a real good player is supposed to look like. He comes from a great family. His mom is a high school coach. His dad is there every step of the way. Doesn't have an ego, but he's in the gym with him every day. Keon is a great kid, not a good kid. He's a great kid. He likes to work, so we got to turn him from hard worker to insatiable worker. He's got a skill set, so he answers a lot of those things, and so that's why we're really excited about him. And what we're trying to do is get him graduated early, because without a high school season left, hopefully we can get him here even before the first of the year, so that because it's a free year, he doesn't have to redshirt. We can throw him into the fire and still be a freshman next year. So, those are the things that are going on.
Smart.
Yeah. So we're just so pleased and happy to have him as part of our family.
Awesome, Coach. Coach, get out of here, Coach. Go do your thing. I love it, Coach, but I love that one, Coach. Hard worker to insatiable worker. I'm going to use that one, baby. I'm just telling you, I stole that one. But thank you so much, man, from the Chop Shop. We'll see you the next time. Jimmy. Okay. Hey, Jimmy, he said he going to come on anytime. He going to be a regular. He a regular. See you later, Coach.
Hey, Coach Blato, and we appreciate that. Thanks a bunch. Right, man, guys, you have been blessed with plenty of nuggets. Coach, we'll talk to you later on. Know you got to run. We're going to keep on going. We're going to go to this quick break, and we'll back, guys, and then we'll talk about the draft. And then we got some other news to tell you about as well. Among the high school ranks, events are canceling left and right. And a school district in Houston just shut down all basketball. That and a lot more when we come back on the Chop Shop.
Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatt, alongside Jim Hicks. And I did want to, Jimmy, I want to mention something that's going to go on this weekend for all the young ladies and men. You got a free, let me tell you something, the Chop Shop, this is how we do, y'all. We got free dance class from the Soul Street Dance Company this Saturday, November the 21st, from 10 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. at the Future Stars of Houston. So do me a favor, go to the Future Stars of Houston on .com, www.futurestarsofhouston.com. Sign your kid up. Free dance classes, free. Yes, this weekend.
And that's going to be 10 o'clock, 10 to 11:15 on this Saturday, and that's 10 to 11:15 this Saturday, and the Soul
Street
Dance Club. These guys they're popular amongst. They did several of those. People come out during the timeouts at NBA games and stuff like that. They've done a slew of those
all over.
They're the world. All over. I mean, that is one of the groups. And that's one of the most popular group of its kind in the country. And so they're in Houston, and they will be offering a free dance class, not a free dance for your class teachers, a free dance class, meaning that if you have a young person that would like to come and just, and just give them something to do on a Saturday morning from 10 to 11:15.
Yeah, creative. Yeah.
That's, and don't some of you guys get your old ass out there and try to dance. That ain't for y'all. They gonna have some place for y'all to sit down on the side and watch. It's a big, nice place. That school, Future Stars of Houston, they just built it about a month ago, and it is state of the art. It's like it's kind of like it's like 5 different schools in one.
Yeah. Yes.
And you get that.
Jimmy,
I mean, for real.
Jimmy, it's also an event planning place you can have an event, and place you can have your band play, or you can hold.
We were really thinking about doing a Chop Shop New Year's Eve spot there, but the COVID, and that's what I'm glad we didn't jump out there, because now we don't know. We don't know. We can't go on the ledge like that and have all the people in that place like that when everything is going on and stuff is going backwards. But that was where we had initially designated, and they had invited us to do so.
Right.
Yeah. It was perfect for that.
When y'all see the parking free, about 500 parking spaces. Y'all got to go experience. You got to go experience it. Check it out. Future Stars of Houston. Something I've never seen that in Houston. I've been in Houston a long time. Never seen nothing like it. And like somebody was telling me the other day, it's going to be the Juilliard of the South. Somebody said it on the air the other day. Great place to start off here. That's the same with Laura James, the lady be on talking about the voice lessons and giving your voice coaching. She's a part of Future Stars Houston too. Just a great new concept. Jimmy, what happened, Jimmy? What?
I'm just laughing at these comments. Of course, Barry McDonald said, well, they showed me how to do the Hicks birthday dance. No. That's exclusive, boss. That's exclusive. You got to come. You got to go to the after party to get that. You can't get that at the Future Stars.
All you got to do is have your bunch of crown in you and just do what you feel like. That's all Jimmy did. Talk about he kicked the leg twice. He kicked the leg twice. Don't you let me go find that thing.
You got to have a double kick. The double kick, dude, that's the kickstand. We're going to call that game the double kickstand. That's how you do that. You double kick and you still standing. Because if you got enough oil and you try to double kick, your ass going to fall down. Or the drink going to come out your glass. You both.
Jim, we finna start talking about high school basketball. I want to show you something before we do. Watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this. Did y'all see young fella set that pick? It was still on the pick. Jimmy, he was stationary on the pick, man. Hey, you know he gonna be a baller, man. See y'all, guys like me, I look at the small thing. That was the fun. Jimmy, you over there laughing. I know people missed it. I'm gonna play it one more time. Y'all got to see that. Hey, I love that. I had to share that with y'all.
Now I'm gonna tell you the end how this story is about to end.
Uh-oh.
When the little man gonna go to they're gonna enroll him in the league. Mm-hmm. He's gonna play in the little dribbles league, little buddy ball, bitty ball, whatever they call it. He's gonna have a wide open layup. Ain't nobody gonna be behind him. And guess what little man gonna do the first time he get a layup?
He ain't gonna throw that. He ain't gonna throw that thing
clean behind it and keep running and get ready to high five everybody. I can see it coming. I'm telling you right now, that's why this story is going in. His very first layup gonna be the smoothest air ball behind him that you're gonna ever find. And you know what? And your parents out there and they watching the Chop Shop, somebody want you forward it to them, you tell them they better not get mad. They better laugh it off like we laughing right now. They better laugh it off. Let them call time out and go on the floor and hug little man and say, "I'm sorry, man. You supposed to roll that on in there." Go the right way.
What I love about it, Jimmy, Coach Kenny Gamble said, he opened up like he was a shooter. He opened up the right way. Some guys in high school open up the wrong way. He opened up the right way. I mean, that's when I sit there and said, look at this little boy. It's unbelievable. But I had to share that, man. What we got? Tell me all this news in high school basketball.
I got breaking news in the high school ranks around Houston. I hate to inform you guys, Katy ISD just shut down all basketball sports until after the Thanksgiving break. So this means tomorrow, Friday, will be their last games. So that means they will not, anybody that's from Katy ISD, if you have a game scheduled with any school which dwells within Katy ISD, if you have or any other school that has a game, I'm telling you right now, or a parent, because a lot of these coaches are in classrooms right now. They haven't got the memo. That means they have to go and send a note or email to all of these teachers, all these coaches in other programs. That's going to take a little time. High school coaches aren't administrators. So for them to put that email together, it's going to take, it may take tonight, tomorrow, whatever. I'm letting you know, you get it from the Chop Shop. Playing against a Katy ISD school, which includes Katy Tompkins, Maid Creek, Katy, Cinco Ranch, Seven Lakes.
Martin
Ranch. Then guess what? You need to have your coach, let your coach know ASAP that if they have a game scheduled anytime within during the Thanksgiving week, it is probably canceled.
Wow.
And they can work on postponing. And this is because of the pandemic. A lot of things. Remember, on yesterday morning, New York City shut down all in-person classes at schools.
Yep. This
is New York City. A number of events have canceled. As at the end of our show yesterday, Corey Henderson, who's on the feed, you guys that's watching via Facebook, will notice Corey Henderson. He's a head coach at the Episcopal School of Dallas.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, they just canceled a showdown game that was on the card of the R.J. Hampton Classic. Oh. That game is canceled. Right? Also, Duncanville was playing St. Mark's. St. Mark's and Duncanville was supposed to take place on this Friday, right? At Duncanville. I think that was Buff's event. That game is canceled. So now, and of course, the big event that was taking place in Allen, Texas, we mentioned yesterday, we touched on, and which was going to have Yipsy Prep, and Legacy was going to play Hillcrest out of Arizona. That event has been canceled. That's the Whataburger tournament in Fort Worth.
I used to like that.
That's not after Christmas. That has been canceled. That's 4 different cancellations in the DFW area. And it was funny because how the tide turns on this stuff. I remember back earlier this summer when we were canceling events left and right in Houston, and DFW was still able to have events. And now DFW is having, because of their rise, is having to cancel. And Houston, not the man, we're canceling too. A lot of events around the stuff. A lot of teams are pulled out. I gave you the story yesterday. And if you didn't go to the VIP news on rcssports.com about a lot of schools that have canceled their upcoming games as well. This stuff is one day at a time. If Houston has his way, they will shut everything down. The mayor and the county commission, the county judge. However, the governor has let it be known in Texas that he's not, just said it yesterday in the press conference, he's not shutting anything down as it stands right now. And the numbers are worse than they were back when they shut the stuff down before in Houston. As far as the understand. So this is kind of, be careful out there, be safe out there. Now, as it stands, the Hoops Giving Classic, which is Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving at Houston Christian School, that is still on the docket. And I'm put it like this. Based on the fact that the games are 2.5 to 3 hours apart on each court, we'll let it cancel itself. And I'm gonna tell you, I mean, it'll cancel itself. Meaning that how will it cancel itself? Meaning, let's say if one school we lost 2 schools, we had 6 games total. Now it's probably gonna be 5 games. Well, if 2 or 3 more schools say, man, I don't know, it cancels itself. That means now, guess what? It's canceled. I'm not enthused about having it. I'm not enthused about not having it. I mean, I'm right there on the 50-yard line. I really am. I mean, now at the same time, because that's their safety as well. That's their parents. I'm not making them play. I'm willing to not host the event if there's no other events going to be going. Meaning that if everybody said, look, guys, or the city may pull through and say, you know what, the hell with the governor, we're going to shut stuff down. So this looks like the new normal, at least until a fair share of the population has received or agrees to receive this one of these so-called vaccines. Each his own. My thing is, my personal belief on the vaccines is that the first people should take them should be the politicians. Give all ass the vaccines first, and you'll see how much they believe in it. You'll see just how much they believe. Every politician should get stuck their ass right in the arm with one of them vaccines, and then I promise you, I think about it.
The first one I will stick. What's that boy name? Mitch McConnell and Lindsey Graham. Stick them in the ear. I can't say what I really want to say. Stick them where the sun don't shine. I can't stand them 2 dudes, man. Excuse me, Lord. But Jimmy, I'm so funny. I want before I know we got time. I just wanted to share with y'all some how this stuff works. Paul Reed, right? We talked about Paul Reed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got drafted 58.
Then we talked about Miles Powell. You got to understand, Miles Powell was Player of the Year. I mean, he scored 30 on 2 guys that got drafted, right?
They had a deal in place already. They knew they wasn't going. They didn't pick on purpose.
No. I'm just saying he scored 30 something on 2 guys that got drafted, Pritchard and the guy from Cassius Stanley. Okay, I'm just giving people facts. Some people don't know this, Jimmy. But guess who he represented by? CAA, Miles Powell.
Yeah.
That's why he go to New York. Leon Rose is the former president. Guess who else? Obi Toppin. People was talking about they should have got somebody. Obi Toppin is represented by CAA, who the general manager of the Knicks now was formerly the president. So I'm just letting people watch what you be saying. Pay attention. Pay attention.
And connect the dots. So their decision to sign with that agency, it paid off because
Toppin was going to get you. Obi's going
to get that. Miles Powell is going to get a 2-way deal regardless.
Oh, yes.
So that's a guaranteed. He's guaranteed a spot on the G League team for certain, and he has the opportunity to come. That's going to be a better deal than some guys that got drafted in the second round. Some guys that got drafted is not going to get that deal that he has. And guess what? That's relationships.
Oh, they're going to get more than that, Jim. Second rounders get more than that. Yeah, they get more than that. Yeah, they get more than that. Second rounders might get money, man.
No. I'm talking about. I'm talking in the second round. Their contracts aren't guaranteed. First rounds are all guaranteed.
Some of them are. Some of them are. Yeah,
but not all of them guaranteed,
some of them
right?
are. Yeah, some of them are though. I mean,
so that means for some that are, that means it's some that are not. So that means he has a guaranteed two-way deal. Everybody that got drafted won't have a guaranteed two-way deal. You only get what, 2 of them per team, Adam? I mean, you get per team.
2 of them per team. 2 of them per team.
So you only get 2 per team. A lot of guys may not realize that two-way deal, and explaining them what the two-way deal is. When we say these terminologies, a lot of ladies on here.
You're playing in the NBA and you're playing in the G League. You can play in the NBA for 45 days. When your 45 days are up, they got to decide whether they're gonna sign you to a deal on the NBA team or send you back. That's what was happening with Daniel House, or send you back to the G League and you finish your time out there. And then if you make the playoff, they'll be able to recall you, but they got to pay you as your prorated salary if you was a regular member, not a two-way player. As a player, they got to designate you as a player on the roster. So it's two-way deals are good. I mean, it's allow extra spots. Instead of 15 spots, we got 17 spots available. But I had some information I wanted to show y'all, and I had so much stuff in my thing. But about that NBA draft last night, Jimmy, I just wanted to share some stuff, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it with. First of all, man, congratulations to all the young men who were drafted in the NBA draft yesterday, and to the parents, and good luck to all of them. But you might you might not like him. I hear people talking about him, or his mouth, or how he did it. But this man, LeVar Ball, guy who came on this show, took out his time to come on the Chop Shop. He got 2 sons drafted in the top 3 in the NBA draft, man. All the time by wearing BBB slides everywhere. You know, they called him Daddy Ball. They called him crazy, stupid. He was slandered every time he opened his mouth. And it's the same man that created a lane for high school athletes to get paid instead of going to college for a year. And they used that same concept, Jimmy, the NBA with the new G League, Jimmy. Mr. Ball is going to be a three-peat with his 3 sons going to the NBA. I don't know about Jello as much, but let me tell you something, man. I am not. Y'all can say what you want about that, man. I just want to give him his roses and give him his flowers right now, because I know I got a lot of flack from supporting that man long time ago. I guess what? I took it, and he came on our show. And it's just unbelievable that he got. Can y'all imagine that? 2 sons in the top 3, unbelievable. And then Jimmy, I go look at that high school team. He got 3 guys in the lottery. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then a shout out to Klay Thompson, man. Oh my God, broke my heart when I heard that, man. The man just trying to get back in shape in LA. And they at this little fitness center, they was hooping, trying to get back in shape and get ready for the season. And he pulled up lame and his Achilles is torn. And then another thing I want to talk about, Seth Curry is going to go play for Doc. Here's his father-in-law at the Philadelphia. What's so unique about that, Jimmy? You remember Seth Curry had a great series against the Clippers last year, Jimmy, in the bubble. If you remember, they played against Luka. Seth Curry was killing in the bubble. So Doc said, okay, I got to have some of this over here. Great job pickup by Doc and Daryl Morey. And Doc and Daryl Morey and Elton Brand. Okay, I got to keep Elton Brand's name in there. Yes, Elton Brand. So I just wanted to throw that in there, Jimmy, before we go any further, because I'm looking at the time. So what else you got?
Yeah, and we have about 10 minutes left on the chop shop, and also speaking on the draft, I was looking at Jamias Ramsey.
Yes.
He fell all the way to the 40s. I think what number
Did he
was it?
fall? What did you expect? What did you
Well,
expect?
that's not my profession.
No.
But believe it or not, here's my thing: is this, and I saw somebody said it earlier about the NBA draft boards, and there's about 3 of them. Here's my thing: if those draft boards, sure, they're not going to get 1 through 60 on the money. And the way that it goes, if you get 1 wrong, you automatically getting 2 wrong by default. If for every 1 wrong, that means it's 2 numbers wrong.
It's just gonna happen.
So that means if you get 3 wrong, that means you got 6 wrong. If you got 4 wrong, 8 wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a different slot that makes it correct.
Because you got to take somebody out or put somebody in. Yeah.
So what happened? Let me tell you something, guys. I don't follow them like that. I really don't.
I do.
But during draft time, I go and I look at a couple of them. Because my thing is this: if those things were so frivolous after all these years, then why are they still being quoted and cited and relied upon or by the general public? Once you start giving that much bad dope, people ain't taking it no more.
Jimmy, I don't think it's bad dope. I just don't think it's bad dope. It's just
no. I'm not saying it is. No. I want to make sure correct that.
Okay.
I know. That's exact. I'm saying the opposite.
Yeah.
That means if it was that much bad dope, then people would not take it no more. It can't. I'm not saying it's good, blue magic.
Yeah.
But it can't be as bad as people say they are.
But see,
those boards.
But
they will be out of business.
But if you're smart enough, you got to understand it's gonna always be business for them, Jimmy. Not to the teams. The teams ain't worried about their business. It's the hungry fans, the people who want to hear it. Fans gonna always be fans because they fanatics. So they want to see something. Yes, they gonna be in business. The fans ain't going back and look. They just looking at the things they got right. It's just a barometer, like fantasy football. It's a fantasy whatever. It's just the fans, man, fans are so valuable. This is why these guys, you can't, I put it like this. You can't take these things with a grain of salt. Jimmy, I know you talking about they'll be out of business. No, but as long as you got fans that keep looking at this stuff, it's gonna always be a market for these guys. But you got to, as a fan, I'm gonna try to educate you. Always remember, it's just those guys' opinion. It's another guy's opinion. They got barometer. They got inside. You got the inside works. Somebody got some insiders. But guess what? Sometimes things change on the inside. All of these picks are fluid. It's not concrete. So sometimes it'll change as the facts change. Let me tell y'all something. I happen to be in a situation like that. Rashard Lewis, 3 teams told us that they're going to take him in the first round. 3 teams. And guess what happened? They didn't. Neither one of them took. The Rockets had 2 or 3 picks in the first round and didn't pick him. So these things are fluid. Fluid mean they move. You know, let me tell you something. It was a situation last night after Klay Thompson got hurt. Bob Myers was talking about changing his pick from James Wiseman. But then they said, oh, hell no, we'll get him and trade him if we need one, if we need to get a Bradley Beal or package him to get somebody else to take Klay. All of these things are fluid. So if James wouldn't have got drafted number 2, then we would have said, man, these guys wrong. No, as the facts change, the truth changed. So it was a unique draft we got. Let me tell you something. Shout out to those people in Dallas. You know, I know, Jimmy, you from Houston. You know, I just happen to be from all over the world. But shout out to those guys. I think they had, let me see, the guys that from Dallas. Let me look at them. I got to give them a shout out because they watched this show too. And they got R.J. Hampton. He went to Denver. Tyrese Maxey went to Philly. Tyrese Maxey is a great situation. He going to get to work with Sam Cassell, man. Sam Cassell, I'm just telling you, what he do for these young guards is unbelievable. Jamias Ramsey, Jimmy, going to Sacramento. Jalen Harris going to Toronto. And then Mason Jones, he's going to have an Exhibit 10 contract with the Rockets, like a guaranteed he gonna get $50,000. So, but it's unique, man. A great. I mean, like I was saying, people think they're gonna get drafted higher and lower, but man, if you got drafted in this draft, man, you got a chance. What you say, Jimmy? You got the opportunity. And that's all you can ever ask for is the opportunity. And shout out to those guys in Dallas. Keep doing the good thing. Houston, we on the way. Let's get behind our players and make sure we get behind our players and quit. I mean, if they're not good, then take them aside or somebody of influence and say, man, this is what it takes. This is what it takes to get them there. This is what it takes to get them there. This is what it takes to get it. We got to start as a village. If we got a guy that's good, ain't none of them perfect. Let me tell you something. If you heard what the GMs was telling me last night about some of these players, I am not going to repeat it on television, on this show. Because I mean, it's just not repeatable. But just keep working. Just keep getting better. Every time, ask your kid, what can you do? What can you do to get better today? What can you do to get better today? So, Jimmy, I think it was a unique draft. Let me tell you something. Shout out to Penny Hardaway and Leonard Hamilton. This is the kind of show that needs to. Leonard Hamilton got 2 lottery picks. Penny got 2 guys in the top 10. I mean, in the top 20. Let me tell you something. We got to shout those coaches. They're not going to shout them out nowhere else, y'all. We got to shout those coaches out. We have. I don't care what your agenda is. We got to shout these black coaches out that's putting these 2 guys. Penny had Precious Achua and James Wiseman. And think about it. James Wiseman left his team. And it was rumors out there, James Wiseman mad at Penny. James Wiseman mad at them. And Penny Hardaway sitting right there in the room with this man. Class act. Of course they had differences. But look, he put his differences aside to go support his young player.
Penny, you know why Penny was there, Hal?
Why?
Penny had to come there and want to get his money back. You got to get the quarterback.
No,
at 25.
He got a lot of problems.
Penny say, man, come on, man. Hey, man, let me go and get that off for you, boss. You're a pro now. Let me get that quarterback.
He got a lot of problems. Hey, I know some more people he need to go get some money back from. Not from James Wiseman. James Wiseman helped his program.
A lot of you newer members or viewers of the Chop Shop. In 2020. We've had Penny Hardaway on the Chop Shop.
Yes, sir.
In 2020, we've had Leonard Hamilton on the Chop Shop.
Preach it.
So in case you did not know and you didn't realize, we've had those and they will come again. Leonard Hamilton told us on the Chop Shop that he's going to have 1 for sure and possibly 2 in the first round. He ended up getting 2 in the lotto. Yeah. Remember, Florida State normally, and he mentioned that show from Leonard Hamilton was classic. He explained how they recruit. He put it like this. You know, some guys, you got certain people in your family. It's always every family has one that got a kinfolk that they got a little bread, but they still like to go get them used cars or something and fix them up. The fix-ups. They could go buy a brand new. But it's something about that they won't get this old classic, fix it up. This was Florida State Leonard Hamilton. Ham has no problem with the under-recruited player, meaning that he's not worried about how high is he ranked or who else is offering him. He ain't worried about that. He getting you if you fit the bill. And he said that every player can't play for me because I know what I'm looking for. A lot of coaches don't. They got other people.
Jimmy, one of the guys, I'm glad one of the guys was a 6th man. He came off the bench.
And in the lotto.
In the lotto.
Average 9 punts a game.
Hey, man. I'm telling you, man.
And y'all want to worry about how many punts everybody's scoring every night and this and that. Which, guess what? I'm going to learn. If that feeds your fetish, then guess what? And some of y'all love to be tricked. So that means that, and that's the thing.
Leto told him.
I'm
Leto
watching
told
so
him.
many other people trick you. I'm watching other people trick you and you loving them. I'm giving you the real and I'm a hater and you hate me. So,
Jimmy.
So I know how to trick your ass. I'm going to give you some of that same trickery that they giving you across the street and you shelling out money out the kazoo to get tricked by them people. You paying them dudes to trick you.
Yeah.
I got you. It's 2021 about to come around the corner. Watch how I shift gears. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you just how to get tricked. And guess what? By the time either they're gonna blow this whole damn thing up and with a whole new module on grassroots basketball and use, or they're gonna say, man, you know what? We done created Frankenstein. Like I told you, I helped create another Frankenstein. Y'all gonna realize y'all created another Frankenstein with this one right here. I'm gonna show you in 2021. Watch.
Let me show you something.
And I promise you that.
Let me see
how to get in on the trickery.
You know how I look at the game, and I watch this. I've been doing this stuff for 30 years, and I have this thing about the draft. I used to go into them all the time for almost 30 years. It's just so unique. I saw something that I'd never seen before. I saw something I'd never seen. I saw the kid from Arizona. His mom was white but had a kente cloth dress on. His dad was from Nigeria, but he had a white wife, man. I have never seen that before, and maybe y'all can help me with that. That was one of the unique things. Somebody kept sending that, and Freight was trying to be messy and sending me all kind of crazy stuff. But that's the first time I've ever. What's the guy, the 20th pick, Jimmy? From Arizona, with Arizona, he's from Nigeria, but his mom had
the Nigerian kid, yeah.
She was white, but she had a kente cloth. She had the kente cloth outfit on, and the daddy had the African garb and everything, but had a white wife, and I found it very. I've just never seen that. Not to say.
I'm gonna tell you what was so funny. What? You know, Wednesday night, guys, it's date night. So me and Sandra, we go to different restaurants on a Wednesday night just to spread the wealth. And so last night we in the restaurant and we eating and I made sure that we had to sit at the bar. We played it simple last night. We went to what's my place over that has the Chinese place. They have a chain of PF Chains. So we go to PF Chains last night. I'm sitting at the bar. So we both can watch the draft. That was part of the deal. I gotta sit near the bar now, so we can watch the TV, so you hear the TV. Well, at least be able to read the TV. So Sandra says, "It sure is a lot of white girls in these rooms this year when these kids get drafted." And I just sit there and I told her, I say, hell, look like white girls won this year. No, they won this go round.
Jimmy, it was a lot of mixed race people. So a lot of mixed race kids was in there. And guess what? If a kid's mom is white, it's okay to like what your mom, who your mom is. So I kind of understood it for a couple of guys because when I looked and saw their mom was white. So sometimes, man, you got to understand this culture. We in a multicultural society now, man. Things has really changed. But yeah, and King Gamma said Nigeria stole the draft. I think somebody posted how many Nigeria guys.
They had five of them. 5 Nigerians, not 5 Africans.
Yeah.
5 Nigerians.
Yeah,
and for those that aren't geographically, that skip geography class in school, Africa is a continent.
Yes.
Nigeria is the country.
Yeah.
So that's like saying, understand, that's like in North America, when the United States of America is the country. Hey, North America is the continent.
Yeah.
So there was 5 Nigerians.
Yeah.
Normally we lump all of those guys. And understand, African. We all guilty of it because we lump them all in one big old African bag. That African. Yeah. And guess what? My thing is this: those Africans, if they don't do nothing to correct us, they can just say no. I understand. I'm just saying though to say
sometimes we don't know, Jimmy. Sometimes.
Yeah, we don't. But at the same time, it's habitual. I see one right now. Oh man, they got a big old African over there. Yeah, you're African by the continent, but if they want to just start and say, hey, "Look, I'm from Sudan. I'm Sudanese," or I'm Egyptian. Now sometimes Egyptians, I've noticed.
Come on.
They will, because remember we had a couple of Egyptians and
Somalians. What about Somalians? Somalians.
You can kind of you can tell them. You can tell a lot of Somalians.
But I'm just saying that's
really,
part. I'm just telling you that's part of the thing. But keep going. I don't mean.
But it was a lot, and it was a lot last night. Now the thing is, did you see the hat that LeVar Ball had on?
I did see it.
Any of you guys see the hat the cap that LeVar Ball was wearing? What it said on the top of his cap? Mm-mm. I want to say I can't. I may be off a little bit. I want to say it read, "I told you so."
Yes,
you guys can help me out.
Yeah, I saw that, Jimmy. I saw that. I
want to say it said, "I told you so." Yes, Doug Jones. There you go. I see you, Doug. You right on it. So you notice, and let me tell you something. There are articles popping up. And one thing about it, I just tell people to pay attention, and you really see, and you can really hear, and really decipher who really has given love, what media, what writers, what analysts have basically given the Ball family a life sentence for something that they helped create. They helped create, when I say creating the Frankenstein, using that analogy, they the one that gave and reached out and begged LeVar Ball to come in their studios, flew him out to Bristol, Connecticut, flew him over to the Fox studios in California, flew him out, or helicoptered him in some stances to get there, to be able to make appearances. They the one that wrote and asked for articles, asked for this stuff. They the one that did this. Gave him interview after interview and opportunity after opportunity. And guess what? Now, when he shut the doors, and once we did, remember, if you don't remember what was the beginning of the end of the relationship with the mainstream media, with most of those, was when his son was, when Melo was playing overseas, and LeVar got Jeff Goodman fired. Told Jeff Goodman, you can't have access anymore. And he was on assignment from ESPN, footing the bill over in that country. That's where Lonzo was playing at, wasn't it, Howard?
What
that was Lonzo.
Where?
Which one was playing over there when he got fired? Was it Melo or Lonzo?
Lonzo stayed over here. It had to be Melo.
Yeah, Lonzo was at UCLA. That was Melo. Yeah, the first place that he played at before he went. Yeah.
And he was over in Lithuania. He was over in Lithuania before he went.
He was in another country. Yeah. That's when he wasn't in Australia. And when LeVar Ball got Jeff Goodman fired, that, understand, everybody that's an ally of Jeff Goodman banded together. Because now Jeff Goodman, it's the battered spouse syndrome.
Boy, you working the hell out of that battered spouse syndrome.
Yeah, it goes all different directions.
But keep going. You're working that thing.
Because battered spouse syndrome is not necessarily physically. It goes with mentally as well. It was the mental anguish that the spouse would put on the other one and make them feel like they are. Remember the color purple? Remember how the man used to how bad he used to talk about Whoopi all the time? Yeah. That's battered spouse syndrome. Yeah. And then she overcome it and
make your point.
So now back to this. When he got Jeff, a lot of the media guys, which I know, they had Jeff Goodman back. And they're like, we're going to get it. How we get him first? We deny him the opportunity to come on our platforms again. You see? So now the ones that had control of their platforms and their content, that was the first wave. Then the second wave is, we don't talk about your son when he does well. We will only talk about him when he don't do well. That's how media gets it back. That's how it goes. That's called media warfare. We're not gonna applaud you when you hit a bucket, but we will acknowledge when you turn the ball over. This is how this game goes. I know how to play it too.
I ain't worried about it. Because guess what? That man sit there. You know what I was thinking about, Jimmy? Because you said a lot of stuff we just don't know, right? And here's the point. I thought about something. If you don't know anything and you teach your children what you know, then your children are as smart as you are. Okay, I think I missed somebody. Y'all need to write this down. All I know is what I've learned. And let that sink in a minute. No matter how many books you brought, Jimmy, you only know the ones you read. Jimmy, I went to a friend of mine's house not too long ago. That man had 1 million books around there, and I ain't read now one of them. And I was just thinking to myself, he told me, buying information, what I'm trying to get people, because I'm sitting here watching you, how you talking about these media. Buying information does not give you revelation. I was just thinking about some books that you bought last year you ain't even looked at, and you show people your library. But let me tell you something, man. Every time you pass the library, and you know I'm in this, I'm about to in the process of writing my book. So every time I pass a library, knowledge incriminates me right now. And so you know, when people blame it on everybody, man, we just got to get smarter. And I just love what LeVar Ball did. Y'all got to sit here and think about it. Jimmy talked about how the media is, but what can we do that can control our own narrative? Because we got to learn. That's why I said Dave Lato. I know y'all need to go back and watch this show again. The ABIS. We're in a place now that we're aware of this stuff. We got smart people around us. Let's do something concrete to make a movement to make this thing better, man. And we can sit here and whine about what everybody, that this press and this press. Guess what? Y'all got all black athletes got a platform. They got the chop shop. They have the chop shop. You can come on here and announce whatever you want to, black athlete. I don't care if you're mad at Jimmy. I don't care if you don't like me. But you got a platform, sir, to come on here and say whatever you want to, so you don't have to depend on nobody else to write your story. That's why I'm writing a book, because if something happened to me, somebody else would have to write the story. But guess what? I'm writing the story, so my next generation can know it was a guy like this on this planet, and he's showing you how to get. I told you, I'm trying to take people from, like I told my son, I don't want you to be employed. I want you to be deployed. So you deploying yourself in your things, not at the expense. Because let me tell you something, every employee would love to have your talent and use your talent for them. Learn how to use your talent and your gift to benefit you and your family. If we start getting there, boy, we gonna kill them. We ain't gonna be around it, because let me tell you something. Every one of these kids is talented. God gave every one of these kids a gift. We just got to figure out what that gift is. Everybody ain't no basketball player. Everybody's not. Let me tell you something, y'all. That's bad. I mean, never bad, but guess what? My son thought he was going to go to the NBA. I told you, he talked crazy to me the other day. In case anybody didn't hear that story, you know, I'm complaining about the Rockets, and he talking about, don't talk about them my Rockets. I said, wow. And I said, well, like, James Harden did get y'all a hamstring to away from being in the championship. He said, Daddy, nobody cares. He said, I thought I was going to be a pro, but I had ankle injuries. Guess what? Nobody cares. So now he had to be smart enough to pivot. So all of our kids got those gifts from, not just him. All of our kids got gifts in them. We ain't looking at those other gifts. Some kid might want to dance. So guess what? We got free dance classes for y'all this weekend. Some kids might want to play an instrument. Guess what? The future stars of Houston gonna allow that for y'all. We just got to learn to find our kids' gifts. Not just keep training them to go get a job. Because that guy on the job is not gonna pay your son what he's worth. He's not. He's not. That's not how capitalism works. So I just think, like I said, we got a great situation we going here. I see y'all might see us as entertainment. I see y'all as a powerful group of people that if we make the right movement, all of us can benefit. And our kids can be able to benefit just because three guys decided to keep this show running for 4 years. And now we've built a power base and we got to use it. So I just had to share that with y'all today. We got to learn. Dave Lito just said it. I mean, maybe it sound better. Go back and hear the show. It sound better, might coming from another set of ears. I just see so much greatness in our kids and so much greatness in these people on this Facebook feed. And let's just figure out our gifts. Somebody got some gifts that right now can help the chop shop. We want your gifts. We want to be the best. We want your gifts. So let me tell you something, Jim. I want to go on to Jimmy. You can end the show, but I just thought I'd just share that with y'all, man, because we got to know. That's why I want to have y'all knowledge. Because if you're not teaching your kids gonna know what you know. If you teaching them nothing, what you think they gonna know? Nothing. So every day I'm gonna try to have a teaching moment on here. Y'all just humor me. But 20 years from now, we'll say, okay, I see the seeds. I see the fruit from this labor. So, Jimmy, you can end us out. And
if you hadn't done so, guys, share the show to your timelines, to your groups, to your friends. Give us a thumbs up if you're on the YouTube, in the Boom Boom Room, the red room, as we like to call it now, red and blue. And that has no affiliation with politics whatsoever. Please. We just call them that because
the NFL picks, Jimmy. NFL picks, man.
Well, the NFL picks, there's no sense in doing them. Remember,
that's right. That's right.
I don't. If I can't win, I don't play. Okay. So I quit.
Okay.
On that.
All right. Okay.
So I'm not doing that.
My bad.
Okay. I'm gonna talk about something that I love talking about, and that I know that the people can learn something more. They can't learn shit from me with an NFL pick no more. I've got them wrong for 8 out of 10 weeks.
You ain't got them wrong, Jimmy. You ain't have them wrong. You were just playing against a formidable opponent. You didn't get it wrong.
Well, guess what? I was taught a long time ago. One thing the streets taught me, boy, coming up in field war, if you can't win, don't play.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm mathematically eliminated from being able to win.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right.
I cash out.
We'll figure something else out.
Y'all. That's how that go. And guess what? You sleep a whole lot better at night when you learn how to. For those who have the control to know when to cash out.
But it's an interesting game tonight. You sure cashed out that's an interesting game tonight. Arizona and Seattle. I can't wait to see it. I ain't got to pull for nobody. You know who I like. I like Sierra. I like Sierra's husband to win tonight. But I like the young fella from Dallas. So I mean,
hey, put it like this. This is a must win, not necessarily not do or die, but this Seattle needs this win more than Arizona does.
Yeah.
Seattle needs
I ain't looked at the records. I hadn't looked at the records.
They all tied for first right now.
Okay.
But on the schedule, when the season when they was 0-0 and you saw this game on a Thursday night, automatically you say, oh, that's a win for Seattle. Now they're tied for first because Seattle lost. They lost last week. And Arizona wins on the Hail Mary. So now they're tied at 6-3, I think, in that conference. Well, guess what? If Arizona loses to Seattle and they still are competitive in the loss, that's going to be like a damn near like a win. That'd be enough to keep that candle.
You sure got a whole lot of good commentary about this football. Let's talk about football. Let's get out of here because you have great commentary. You have great commentary. You know what? I got you. Me and you gonna start going against other two people, and I'm gonna let you gonna be with Big Dog, and then you gonna win. You gonna be on my team. It's all right to be on my team, man. Come on. I'm winning. I'm a winner. You know what you told me a long time ago? I'm always on the winning team. I'm the winning team, man. You're going against your principal. You're going against your own principle. Boy, you hard. Well, I understand. I understand. It's cool. But get us out of here, man. Let's jabba do this thing.
And want to give a shout out to one of the players of the week, the Chop Shop Player of the Week.
Oh, who?
That's going to be another thing that we'll do. And what we'll do next week, Heather, we'll make a Chop Shop starting 5 of the week. Because Doug does a Doug's dozen.
Okay.
So that's a lot of players. We're going to make a starting 5 going in of each week on a Thursday. Okay. We'll let them know at the end of the week who's the starting 5. But this for the first week, I got the player of the week.
Okay.
The player of the week, my player of the week.
Okay.
Is from Yates High School.
Johnny.
It is not who you think it is.
It ain't Johnny.
No.
Who?
It's gonna be the big fella. Chooks. It's a tour.
Chook been balling?
Remember, he played 2 games. First game, he had 29 points, 12 rebounds in a win. Yates over Crosby. Yates played North Forest last night. Was it last night? And Chooks, guess what he had last night? What? According to the Huddle, that's the stat software that a lot of the high schools use it automatically stats the game, which is kind of cool. And they use that. That way now they can go back and when they watch the game, the tape, that software will automatically spit out the stats. It can spit it out before they even watch it. That's some cool. So Huddle, according to the Huddle software, Chooks last night had 32 points, 25 rebounds. Let me say that again. Yeah, he's 6'9".
Who he played?
32 and 20. They played North Forest. Guess what? I don't give damn who they played. 25 rebounds in high school means you did what you're supposed to do. If you're 6'9", playing against some 6'1" or 6'2", you did exactly what you're supposed to do. That's damn near a rebound a minute. And that's all that I ask of people. So guess what? When the rankings come out and they update it in the next 10 days after Thanksgiving, the Sunday after Thanksgiving, guess what? No, I don't know how far you're gonna go up, but Chooks going back up. It used to be up there, and we dropped it. Okay. So some kids that'll break them when you drop them too far, and you guys know some kids ain't cut like that. And then some kids gonna say, you know what? He dropped me. I'm finna show him. I'm gonna show him. They dropped me in the rankings.
I got a secret weapon to determine mine. I'm going to depend on that. Jeffrey Day be having me a lot of information because I don't go to all these games. But Jeffrey Day, keep up what you're doing and keep me informed. And I'm going to have I might not see every game, but I'm going to have my player of the week. Yeah, I'm gonna watch a lot of.
Yeah, we're gonna come with our. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we're not gonna be one. You have your player of the week,
okay,
and I'll have a player of the week. Then that way we're acknowledging the work that some of these guys doing. That means over the week they normally play 2 games.
Okay, I got you.
So that means not gonna take it from one game and just say player of a game. No, that means in the course in the body of work that week you excel. Okay. And we'll come up with one guy. And guess what? Some weeks may be more, may need more than one guy.
Y'all text me. Y'all input equal output. Y'all better let me know who balling. Because with me, when you ball, you get the call.
And I wonder how many did Little Johnny have last night? Nobody's saying, tell me, Little Johnny, he had to give us double digits. You can't follow a 30 with an 8. You got to come back with a 30, with a 13.
I don't know. I didn't know they played. I did not keep up with. We didn't even talk about it today, but we had a great guest today, and we didn't get a chance to talk about it, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. We got to stop. Hey, I'm gonna make it a conscious effort. I want to talk more about my young fellas because they balling out here in a pandemic. Some of them trying to make them wear masks and all that kind of stuff. I got to shout out to my youngsters out there. Y'all keep balling. Y'all mamas and daddies, tell them that Uncle Rob said keep on balling out there. And as soon as it gets safe enough, I'm coming to see him. So, Jimmy, what you got, baby?
Rob, they just sent me.
What happened?
They just sent me.
What happened?
The box score.
Okay. I like this. I'm about to watch the show. Boy, I love this show. Where my boy Johnny at, man? Tell me right now. Talk to me.
You really want to know?
Text it to me. If it's
Little
bad,
Johnny, man.
if it's bad, I don't want to hear it. If it's bad, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I'm like
Little
you.
Johnny.
I don't want to hear the losing part. I'm not. I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Didn't you say your grandmama told you if you ain't got nothing bad to say, don't say nothing at all?
Don't say nothing. That's what she told. Don't
Get
say
what?
Nothing. What?
Get what?
What Johnny had?
My grandmama didn't tell me that. So I'm gonna say, I'm gonna tell you what Little Johnny had. Little Johnny, and guess what? We still love you, Little Johnny. Because as it stands, you still averaging 16 points a game at Jack Yates, and that's good for a kid that's 5'5".
No, Jimmy, that means he scored nothing.
That means he scored 2 points. Little Johnny was 1 for 9 from the field, 0 for 6 from three-point land, 3 assists, 1 rebound, 5 turnovers, 4 steals. He took a charge on defense.
Yes. I got the yes. That's my dude.
And his plus was the highest of any player on the team. He was a plus 14. So now Rod Wells say Little Johnny, they call him Little J, was off. Well, you know how you tell if he was off now? Because he's had 1 game when he was on and 1 game off. The next game is going to really detect which one of those games was a truer magnitude. Little Johnny, you better step it back up because Haller was happy as a lark.
Yes, man.
And he heard you coming on Monday. Little Johnny, you better put this thing back together. Guess when he's going to be in action?
When?
Haller?
When?
Wednesday versus Chris Felix and Westbury Christian at the first game of the Hoops Giving Classic, Wednesday, the 25th of November.
I got it. Come on, Johnny, baby, I got you, baby. I'm not gonna leave you. You're still average double figures in my book.
Now, Haller,
what?
We get ready to land this plane.
What didn't happen?
We promised the people at the beginning of the show.
What?
And we got to come back and revisit this real quick.
Well, go on, come on.
Right now, we know one song for show is on this thing, and that's the song by Lenny Williams.
Oh, yeah. What else you got?
Right? Now, you mentioned the Luther Vandross, you say here and now. Somebody else mentioned, we're only going to use 1 artist per song to make this right.
Okay.
Somebody else said they nominated, if you just missed this earlier, guys, we said we're coming up with a Chop Shop slow jam mixtape. Slow jam tape back in the days, a cassette. And we're going to put 12 songs on this cassette of the best slow song, the best bumping grinds that you could get from the old school. If you didn't make this song if the song didn't come out before 1990, then it can't be on this list.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. I done click you off and click me on. I don't know what the hell I'm doing over here.
Now, you guys can hear me. So somebody else mentioned, Adam.
What?
The House Is Not a Home by Luther. I think that song, you can get some work done. Because Luther got to be on there. He got to represent it in some fashion.
I just remember that one because I played it in.
Okay. A House Is Not a Home. Yeah. That's the song called Superstar. Yeah. That joint there. That was his song.
And
I saw him play that thing live in concert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Come on, man. I used to sing that one.
He broke that down in concert.
I can sing that one. I can sing that one.
They was crying. So we got now, once again, if you just tune in, at the top of the show, we're making this mixtape.
Jimmy, hold on. Ricky, stop the presses. My. Ricky Scott said, my, you got to put Johnny Gill. If you ain't...
No, we saying before 1990. Johnny Gill, my was after 1990, right?
Ain't nobody said nothing about no 1990.
I drew a line in the saying because so much stuff happened before then. Because cassette tapes.
I ain't had no babies before then.
CDs came after 1990. So we talking about cassette tape. We'll come another category. My, I'll go, yeah. But let's go before that. How about this? How about the Isley Brothers, Sensuality?
I don't remember that.
That one that go, every day I dream, holding you close to me. Oh, every night.
No. It's all right. But Jimmy, I wasn't trying. No. I'm telling you, I was Luther. I was a Luther. I was a Teddy dude back then.
Isley Brothers, Voyage to Atlantis. Then Isley's got to be on there. So Voyage to Atlantis.
Atlantis too slow. I didn't have no slow beats.
Ain't no such thing as too slow with the blue light on.
Jim.
When at the skating ring,
Jim,
they cut the lights off,
Jim,
and you on the back wall, ain't no such thing as too slow. You need the song slow.
Jimmy,
you need some help.
He played that damn guitar too damn long. It puts me to sleep. He played that guitar too damn long.
Alan, when the guitar come on, by the time the guitar, I found her. I got one ain't on here. Speaking of guitar, that's another category next week.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. This song had the best guitar bridge of any ballad that a black person made. Remember the Morris Day and the Time, Don't Wait for Me? No, not Don't Wait for Me. What's one of them?
I don't like, but don't 7-7. That's my
no.
I like it fast. I like to go fast sometimes, Jimmy.
Oh, somebody said I'm reading some of the nominations they got. Somebody nominated Fire and Desire. I like that.
Yeah.
Rick James and Tina Marie.
Yeah. You can move that one kind of up. Yeah.
That's what I used to do.
Yes,
use them and abuse them. So I laid eyes on you.
It was pain.
I can't before. That was there right there. What? Hey, what? I'm gonna put my Pandora on that minute and I get the call. Hey, okay. Prince. What's your best Prince slow song? You can't make this slow tape without one Prince. Somebody mentioned Adore. Is Adore his best one?
I like Baby, Baby, Baby.
Beautiful one.
Yeah, that's my one. I like that one. Yeah.
Hey, so since we got Prince on the slow tape, we got to put Michael Jackson.
I ain't never had Michael Jackson on when I was a no.
No. Mike had one.
I ain't never had it.
Mike had one. There'll be no dark tonight.
Okay, I like that.
Lady, your love will shine. Night after night.
Yeah, Quincy
That's
Jones.
the Mike.
Quincy Jones. Okay.
That Mike.
Jimmy, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I can't believe we ain't said no Earth, Wind, and Fire. Oh, I'm driving in your body.
Somebody put Earth, Wind, and Fire. Which song though? Somebody nominated Devotion. Would that be the song that we go with on Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah, you can go with that one now. You can go with that one.
Oh, time out on the Prince.
What?
It's tight. We got to go back.
What?
Michael Smith spoke from California.
What Mike said?
Mike say international lover. I ain't gonna lie. That might be the beautiful one.
It was all right.
Dude, that was the ultimate slow drag song. That song invented slow drag.
You was a nasty little old dude, man. You always talk about slow drag.
National lover. And Jimmy, Prince got the pilot on it.
Jimmy, you probably was the one who used to go up there and tell the referee, because I know I did it. Man, play some slow records right now, dude, before I get up out of here. Hey, here, man. Here, dude. I'm shoo. Back then. Hey, man, hey, I'm a quit. Hey, these some nasty people on this. Why you crank these people up, man, in Boom Boom Room?
Hey, David Dennis say, the one that go, would you mind if I look in your eyes and I hypnotize?
Yeah, again. Never. Oh, we right. David Dennis, yes.
This way.
Yes.
In my heart before. Hey, that's it right there.
Yes, sir.
That's when we gonna ride with Earth, Wind, and Fire. This shit, me.
Yeah.
Go with me. Check this out. We ain't even 4 songs left.
Oh, you are my lady. You are my lady. When you get here, you are my lady. Yes, sir.
Freddie Jackson.
Yes, sir.
That was a classic.
Yes, sir. Somebody, yeah.
Does Freddie Jackson make the cut?
Yes, sir. Slow dance.
We knew
yes, sir.
We knew Freddie. See, Freddie wasn't like Luther or Ted.
No,
we
Freddie,
knew what side of the fence Freddie was on when he made his album.
At first, you didn't. I think after he got a hit.
That album cover showed your ass when he had them licks on his hair. Ain't that what they call them things? Them little cow licks. He had cow licks on his
man. Y'all, come on, man. Hurry up. We got to get out of here. I got to go.
I'm writing it down. You are my lady. Lady in my life. Oh, we good. We ain't got who else we got? Somebody said Secret Lovers, Atlanta Star. Somebody said I Call Your Name from Switch. Somebody said Love Ballad from LTD.
Oh, you got to put Love Ballad.
Yeah.
Woo! Yes, sir. You got to put Love Ballad.
That's
Have
one of the saddest
never
like that.
been so much. Yes, sir. We got to have that. Got to have that.
Somebody says "Float On" by the Floaters. We had one of the females put on that with Lou Rawls on us. How to say "Early Morning Love" by Lou Rawls.
Man, my mama, man, I don't want to think about my mama. My mama probably had that on. I don't want that.
Somebody said Bill Withers, "Lovely Day." Yeah. Somebody says Kim Jackson says "Zap," "Computer Love."
Kim was a little fast little old something. Kim was a fast little old something. Kim, don't shh. Oh, you got to have some R. Kelly. Oh, you got to have some R. Kelly on there. I know y'all done banned him. We banned him on the radio show.
R. Kelly ain't made nothing before 1990, Hatter.
Jimmy, I don't like that. I don't like that, Jimmy. That 1990. You got to be out your. Why before 1990? I had some kids in 94.
Because we're talking about cassette tapes now. Remember the cassette, the CDs start to come out. We're talking about a cassette tape. Keith Sweat. He just came out in the 19. I don't. There's a right and a wrong way to look.
Y'all gonna go make me get some. What his name?
Ted Pendergrass, love TKO.
The rainy night in Georgia, man. What his name? Clarence.
Oh, man, that's Ray Charles, man.
No. Clarence Benton. What his name? Brooke Benton. My mama used to listen to that stuff. You talk about way back there, man. Hey.
Well, guys.
Kim Jackson.
We got enough for the tape.
Yeah, Kim Jackson, boy. I'm gonna pray for Kim tonight. Kim talking some, computer love. Ooh, my goodness.
I'm looking at some of the
Jodeci wasn't that time. Jodeci too young.
Man, this is a hell of a tape right here. I'm gonna go put this thing together for show myself. I ain't gonna lie, but anyway, guys, hey, it is that time, man. Time to slide on down. Dino's back and Yabba Dabba do this thing on this baby Friday. Hope you enjoyed the conversation with Coach Dave Lato, and he was awesome in dropping nuggets. Thanks so much for everybody for tuning in. We got next week. We got some more guests going to come with you. Now, however, of course, it's a holiday week. We will share with you the schedule on how we're going to do things once Monday roll around. We're just waiting to see first if they're going to shut everything down or not, and then how we're going to proceed. Okay. Of course, the Hoopsgiving Classic is indeed on Wednesday at Houston Christian High School. That day, of course, the schedule of games, we have Yates and Westbury Christian. We have Sharpstown versus Goose Creek Memorial. We have Concordia Lutheran versus Premier Academy. We have Houston Christian versus the Woodlands Christian. And, of course, Legacy, the School of Sports Sciences, is scheduled to play O.D. Wyatt of Fort Worth. And this O.D. Wyatt team, remember, this team beat Hightower last year and up in Dallas. And also, they just opened the season with an impressive win over Dallas Kimball. They just beat Dallas Kimball. So Legacy is scheduled to play them. A great afternoon of hoops. The first game tips off at 10 a.m. That's Yates versus Westbury Christian. And you want to know why you plan to play Yates? Yates asked for that 10 o'clock slot because a lot of families and a lot of people want to hurry up and do something and get their Thanksgiving given. We're also going to give away groceries.
Yes, sir.
On that day. That's the last thing. We're going to give away groceries, and that will feed families for Thanksgiving. And if you're wondering, I told you yesterday I'm gonna have the schedule of, how would I say it, the menu of items that would be in the grocery bag. The Thanksgiving dinner will not be cooked. We're gonna let the families cook it on their own. But we having ladies that are volunteering to go to the store to pick it up. So if you wish to be one of the volunteers to go and get the items, we will supply, you get the items. And of course that's donating. That means you're donating the time it takes to go and pick it up. Yeah. We have a menu of things to put in the bags. We know about what it costs. It costs about $125. If you're wishing to sponsor a bag of groceries, let us know. Or if you're willing to be one of the transporters to go and pick the groceries up from the store, that means when you're picking one up, you're going to pick multiple items. We may have 4 or 5 people to pick it up from. Here's what's in there, Hatter. I got it right now. Turkey, ham, gravy mix, cranberry sauce, mac and cheese, rice, potatoes, sweet potatoes, canned green beans, canned corn, dinner rolls, sugar, eggs, milk, brownie mix, cake icing, and fruit juice or water. That will all be in the grocery bag. Of course, it ain't one bag. It's gonna be about 2 or 3 bags per family. Each family would get that. They will have to come pick it up on the 25th of November. That's Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, between the hours of 10 and 2. That's the pickup times. For more information, simply send us an email, chopshophtx@gmail.com. chopshophtx@gmail.com. That's our email box. Also, if you got some questions for the mailbag for next week, send us that as well. We thank you guys so much for tuning to the Chop Shop. We hope you now have enough energy to get you on through the rest of the week.
And stay safe. And stay safe and stay out there. Put that mask on and stay safe, man. Because I want to see y'all next week because I might have a surprise for y'all. Okay? Chop Shop, we out of here, baby.
Jim Hicks. Rob Hatter. You are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the